Chapter 645. The moment Ur flew into the array formation, Guapai had already appeared beside Ur. Guapai looked at Ur and set up a small array formation around Ur. He then transmitted his voice to Ur and said, "How did you come in? The poison in this body is even worse than the plague in the past. You should quickly think of a way to get out. Otherwise, if you get infected by this thing, I won't be able to save you. You know how to love your wife." Ur said with a smile, "Seeing that you couldn't find a solution after so long, I had no choice but to come in. Get out, think of a way to get out. I'll slowly solve it. If I can't solve it, then it's useless for you to come in." Guapai said softly, "After 7 days, the poison in this body will erupt. If I can't solve it in 7 days, then I'll use my true body to gather them together and use my true body as the array core to seal them. At that time, you can go back to the heavenly court. If Sister Chang-yi has a way, then save my life. If not, then forget it. Bad guy big brother, if you really need to use your true body to suppress the poison in your body, do you think it's worth it? You haven't even spent 1/10 of the 100 years in the human world. You've only spent 6 or 7 days in the heavenly court. Don't tell me you don't regret it?" Ur looked at Guapai and asked with a serious face. "Everything has a cause and effect. Immortal cultivators pay the most attention to these causes and effect. Since it has already happened to me, I don't have any regrets. Fairy Chang-yi even gave me her personal maid to be my wife. These 6 years are better than 10,000 years in the heavenly court." Guapai said softly, "Bad guy, now you know how to make people happy." Ur said with slightly red eyes, "Since you thought of using your true body to suppress the poison in your body, didn't you think of other methods?" "Other methods? What other methods can there be? You still don't know how powerful this poison body is. This poison body and poison devil have been refined for at least 10,000 years. Even with my true body, I can barely suppress it. Although I can refine a doppelganger, the doppelganger is unable to suppress the poison body." Guapai shook his head and said, "During the previous war of the 3 realms, Poison Demon had self-destructed his poison body. Back then, countless lives were lost. In the end, the Buddhist sect's people stepped in to deal with the poison," said Ur softly. "Didn't Brother Bad Guy think of any other way? Back then, the tomes of heaven recorded that Poison Demon self-destructed. However, it only said that Buddha sacrificed his true body to cleanse the poison. To put it bluntly, it was a person who gathered the poison. In the end, he destroyed both his poison body and his true body to get rid of the poison body," Guapai said softly. "Brother Bad Guy, are you sure that the true body that Buddha sacrificed back then was Buddha's true body? Could it be a doppelganger or another true body? For example, the countless merits that Buddha accumulated back then. Could it be Buddha's meritorious body?" Ur said with a smile. "Meritorious body? That's right. I can try refining a meritorious body." "My good Ur, how did you come up with this idea?" "I will refine a meritorious body now and slowly deal with this poison body." When Guapai heard the words meritorious body, he was stunned at first. Then, he became excited. He had enough merits. A meritorious body seemed useless. However, if he really had a meritorious body, his cultivation path would be extremely smooth. Ur watched as Guapai sat down cross-legged. She also found a place to sit down. As she had guessed, Guapai had thought of using his true body to suppress the poison body. Fortunately, she had arrived in time. Otherwise, once Guapai used his true body to suppress the poison body, everything would be too late. The two of them stayed inside for 6 days. Guapai already had a body that was identical to Guapai beside him. If this doppelganger was taken outside, it would make even the immortals in the heavens envious. A meritorious body that was completely refined from the power of merit. Even the great Luo immortals wouldn't dare to offend someone who could refine such a meritorious body. Every meritorious body had its own negative karma. If someone killed Guapai, The negative karma alone could destroy that person's life, and even everyone related to that person. Guopai was refining his meritorious body bit by bit in the Great Formation. Yuer listened to Guopai's suggestion and actually began to cultivate under the pressure of the poison body. The two of them were busy with their own matters and didn't notice how much time had passed. However, the outside world was already in chaos. Uncle Shui, let me in. Something must have happened to Master Bad. Since Big Sister Yuer has gone in, let me in as well. Perhaps I can help Master Bad. Guohua came back from Shushan and stood in front of Uncle Shui Yunzi. Guopai's original body was a fire divine beast. Guopai had saved his parents and brother. Guohua knew that Guopai was in trouble and naturally couldn't sit still. I'm going in too. I'm going to save Daddy and Mommy. It was already chaotic enough that a group of people were clamoring to go in. Little Meng Meng had heard from someone that Guopai and Yuer were trapped in the formation. Now, she was also clamoring to go in. Fortunately, it was Uncle Shui Yunzi. Otherwise, the others wouldn't be able to stop so many people. All of you stay put. If Little Bad can't get out of the Great Formation, what can you do? If you really want to help, then find a place to cultivate. The world's chaos has just begun. If you want to help, there will be plenty of opportunities. Don't make trouble here and go do what you need to do. Uncle Shui Yunzi said loudly. Seeing that the usually amiable old man was angry, the group didn't dare to say anything more and all ran away. A bunch of little fellows. All they know is to cause trouble. Seeing the group leave, Uncle Shui Yunzi breathed a sigh of relief. Then, he called Li Shixin and Qiu Daoyuan to his side. Uncle Shui, may I know why you called the two of us here? Li Shixin and Qiu Daoyuan asked with a smile. The two of them, along with Qi Yun and Li Feng, had been standing guard around the formation. When they saw Uncle Shui Yunzi call them over, they knew that something was about to happen. You two think of a way to stabilize the formation. I'll go in and take a look. Little Bad has been in there for too long, Uncle Shui Yunzi said softly. Cough, cough. Uncle Shui, you drove a bunch of people away, but in the end, you want to go in yourself? Li Shixin coughed twice. I'll let one of my clones go in. Even if something happens, I'll be fine. They're just a bunch of little fellows. If something happens to any of them, I won't be able to explain it to Little Bad. If I go in, there won't be any trouble, Uncle Shui Yunzi said with a smile. What he said was true. Li Shixin and Qiu Daoyuan nodded. Uncle Shui, we can only open this formation for 3 breaths at most. You have to make good use of it. Li Shixin and Qiu Daoyuan said softly. Then, they called Qi Yun and Li Feng over. The 4 of them worked together to open a gap in the formation. It was just a sliver, but in an instant, Uncle Shui Yunzi disappeared before everyone's eyes. Don't let anyone else go in. Even the Golden Core poison body experts inside won't be able to hold on. Chapter 646. Shuyunzi entered the Great Array and directly appeared in front of Guopai and Yuer. Then, his eyes widened. Yuer, what is Little Bad doing? Virtuous body. He's actually using such a large amount of virtuous virtue to condense a virtuous body. Shuyunzi couldn't help but ask when he saw Guopai. Uncle Shui, why are you here? It's good that you're here. In a while, Big Brother Bad Guy is going to use his virtuous body to suppress the poison. You can guard him, Yuer said with a smile. Using the virtuous body to suppress the poison is a good idea. Little girl, you snuck in to tell Little Bad about this method, right? Shuyunzi said with a smile. I wonder who told you this method. Uncle Shui, can't you praise me and say that Yuer is smart enough to come up with such a method? Yuer said with a smile. Yuer is smart, but this method is definitely not something you can come up with, Shuyunzi said with a smile. Let me take a good look at this virtuous body first. Little Bad didn't waste his time in the human world all these years. So much power of virtue. Even if he completed a trip to the west, he wouldn't be able to obtain so much power of virtue. I wonder if it's worth it to use this virtuous body to deal with the poison. It's not worth it. Big Brother Bad Guy is already preparing to use his virtuous body to suppress the poison. He's already lucky to be able to preserve his virtuous body. If he can really suppress the poison, Big Brother Bad Guy might not necessarily suffer a loss, Yu said with a smile. Before she finished speaking, Guopai slowly stood up. Haha, Uncle Shui, you're here too. This virtuous body is finally complete. I'm a little reluctant to use it to suppress the poison, Guopai said with a smile. Little Bad, you're really generous this time, Shuyunzi said with a smile. According to the time of the poison eruption, it will probably gather again at midnight tomorrow and erupt. Guopai nodded gently. His divine sense fell on the body of Merit. The other Guopai also stood up slowly. The pressure that erupted from his body was much stronger than that of the original Guopai. The body of Merit was not affected by the rules of the mortal world. The body of Merit could not form a nascent soul. However, the ability of this body of Merit alone had reached the fusion stage. The three of them sat down cross-legged, surrounding Guopai's virtuous body. Shui Yunzi was shocked once more. He had never refined a virtuous body in the past, so he naturally didn't know the benefits of this virtuous body. All he had to do was sit around the virtuous body, and his heart devil wouldn't appear. Little Bad, are you really going to use this body of virtue to suppress the poison? If you can keep this body of virtue, it will be of great benefit to your future cultivation. When the time comes for you to ascend to the heavenly realm, the heavenly lightning won't dare to appear because of this body of virtue. Shui Yunzi said softly. Uncle Shui, there's no other way. I can only use this body of virtue to suppress it. Guopai said with a smile. I haven't even lived 1/10 of the 100 years in the mortal world. If my virtue is gone, then it's gone. I'll just slowly accumulate it in the future. Haha, this old man was thinking too much. It's almost midnight. There's only one chance to suppress the poison. I'll set up the heavenly water formation on the other 3 sides. You just have to find a way to suppress it, Shui Yunzi said with a smile. Guopai originally wanted him and Yu to block the path of the poison. With Shui Yunzi's help, this matter would be much easier. When midnight arrived, the dust of the poison in the formation slowly gathered together. Guopai, Yu and Shui Yunzi held their breaths and stared intently at the dust that was slowly gathering in the formation. It's actually regathering the poison. Compared to before Poison Demon self-detonated, the pressure of this poison has increased, Guopai said softly. Little Bad, the poison is at its weakest for 10 breaths after it regathers. If you can't suppress it within 10 breaths, we won't have a chance. It's fine if the poison competes with your body of virtue. We can still think of a way. If it insists on rushing out of the formation, we won't be able to stop it, Shui Yunzi said softly. Guopai nodded. Haha, true Lord Mind Reading, you were unable to destroy my poison body even after 7 days. This time around, I'm going to reform my poison body. Today shall be the day of your death. The moment the poison body was formed, he looked at Guopao and said loudly, Now's the time. Let's end this quickly. Shui Yunzi roared. Suddenly, the poison body felt a wave of pressure appear around it. Next, Guopao's virtuous body pounced on the poison body. How is this possible? How can you condense a body of virtue? This is impossible. The poison's expression changed drastically the moment the body of virtue pounced on it. However, it was too late. The body of virtue directly entered the poison's body. Guopai and the others could no longer help. They could only watch as the body of virtue slowly controlled the poison's body. Otherwise, the poison's body would devour the body of virtue. If the latter happened first, the 3 of them would no longer have an easy time. True Lord Mind Reading, I've lost this time. But you won't be so lucky next time. Next time, I'll make sure the world never has a day of peace, the poison's body shouted one last time. The body of virtue and the poison disappeared into the formation at the same time. The poison's body is finally done. Guopai took a deep breath and said. Yu and Shui Yunzi smiled at the same time. It's done. They finally got rid of this hidden danger. Brother bad guy, let's go. If you don't go out now, there will be chaos outside, Yu said with a smile. It's already chaos. I drove those guys away before coming in. Otherwise, they would have really broken in. Let's go out quickly. After Shui Yunzi finished speaking, the three of them broke out of the formation. You guys are finally out. Little Bad, quickly go to the front of Bugyaku. There's a patient that a few youngsters couldn't handle. It seems to be quite serious, Li Shirshin said softly to Guopai when he saw Guopai and the others come out. Let's go and take a look. Guopai frowned. Yu, Shui Yunzi, and 4 other human experts walked to the front of Bugyaku. Boss, you're finally back. The patient has been quarantined. He's in the East Isolation Room. You can go and take a look. The Archjia and Qiankuan went to check, but they didn't find anything wrong with him, Su Tu said hurriedly when he saw Guopai walk to Bugyaku. Let's go. Take me there. With Guopai's appearance, the whole of Bugyaku became lively. They hadn't seen Guopai in the past few days. Guotong Yuan and the others were all in seclusion. Although Chen Jiadi, Chao Qiankuan, and the others could already take charge, the patient this time gave them a headache. The Archjia, Qiankuan, follow me in. Everyone else, do what you need to do. As soon as Guopai entered the medical hall, his eyes fell on Chen Jiadi and Chao Qiankuan. His face suddenly turned gloomy. After he finished speaking to the 2, the 3 of them walked into the isolation room. The others didn't ask any more questions and went about their own business. The Archjia, other than Yu and Qiankuan, no one else should have come in contact with the patient. Am I right? Guopai said softly. Only the 2 of us have come in contact with the patient. Boss, if you have something to say, just say it. We've been through so many storms with you. As long as you're here, we don't believe there's an illness that can't be solved, Chen Jiadi said softly. Poison, you've been poisoned. Chapter 647. Poison, she was poisoned. Chen Jiadi and Chao Qiankuan were no longer nervous when they heard the word poisoned. They didn't believe that there was any poison that Guopai couldn't deal with. It's a highly toxic poison that even I may not be able to deal with. Guopai looked at the relaxed expression of the 2 and said, Let's go. I'll take a look at the patient. If I didn't guess wrong, it should be a girl. Her birthday is September 9th. 99 is the number of Tu Yang. However, it's on a girl with extreme Yin. I was careless. Guopai said softly and walked into the isolation room. Who are you? Where are Chen Jiadi and Chao Qiankuan? They said that they were going out to prepare the medicine. When will they come back? Can your Bugyaku cure me? A girl who looked no less beautiful than Little Tang, she looked at Guopai and asked loudly. Miss Chen, this is our head, Guopai, godly Dr. Guo. Chen Jiadi walked to the front and said in a low voice. Guopai, is he the Guopai who is known as the great doctor of Huaxia? The girl looked at Guopai and asked softly. My name is Chen Yuran. When I passed by your clinic today, I suddenly felt a little uncomfortable. So, I came in to see the soldiers. It's been almost an hour, but the people in your clinic didn't find anything wrong with me. I hope you can give me a satisfactory answer. I can't cure your illness. No one can cure it, Guopai said softly. Chen Yuran's beautiful eyes fiercely stared at him. Chen Jiadi and Chao Qiankuan also stared at him with their eyes wide open. You're poisoned, Guopai continued. It's a kind of poison that I don't have the slightest confidence in. Not only you, Chen Jiadi and Chao Qiankuan are also poisoned. Head Chen, since you can't cure my illness, please let me leave. I'll find someone else to save me. Chen Yuran finished speaking and stood up by herself. You can't leave. If you leave here, not only will you be in trouble, but the entire Huaxia, and even the entire Earth will be in trouble. Guapai stood up and stopped Chen Yuran, who was about to leave. Head Gua, please step aside. Although I know that I'm very beautiful and that you might have fallen in love with me, I don't like your pestering. Also, I know that Head Gua already has a woman. I won't share a man with others. Chen Yuran's loudly said, Chen An's T-Test and Chao Qiankuan. And others. And I know that you already have a woman. Calm. Also, I know you already have a woman. And her. T-to-T-T-S to her. T. Boss, what did you do to Chen Yuran? Chao Qiankuan asked softly. Let her calm down. It's your turn now. Guapai looked at the two of them and said, I'll try to detoxify you. I can't guarantee that I can expel the poison. If I can get rid of the poison, you can live. If I can't, you might die. I'm not joking. Boss, don't waste time. Come on. Chen Jiadi said with a smile. Chao Qiankuan also smiled and nodded. Guapai knew that the two of them had been poisoned the moment he saw them. Despite all their precautions, a trace of the poison still managed to escape. The three of them had been poisoned. Fortunately, Guapai had discovered it. Take this pill. I'll tell you some secrets. I believe that you will keep it a secret. Guapai handed a pill to each of them and said with a smile, This pill is called the 9 Revolutions Soul Return Pill. Back then, only the Grand Supreme Elderly Lord of the Heavens could refine it. I am Guapai. Before I was Guapai, I was an immortal. An immortal who had a pretty good life in the heavenly court. Just as Guapai's voice fell, Chen Jiadi and Chao Qiankuan couldn't help but laugh. The trapped Chen Yuran could also hear Guapai's words and laughed as well. Boss, if you were an immortal back then you must have committed a crime of sexual abstinence. That's why you were banished to the mortal realm, right? Chen Jiadi said with a smile. We know about Boss's spiritual power. We won't tell anyone about it. You don't have to make up a story to hide anything. That's right, boss. We've followed you for so many years. We know everything about you. Hurry up and detoxify us. Chao Qiankuan said with a smile. Why don't you believe me when I tell you the truth? Let me show you something. If I can't cure you, at least you'll know what the heavenly court is like. Then, you'll have the capital to brag about it in the underworld. Guapai said. A huge crystal appeared in front of the three of them, including Chen Yuran. Then, a beautiful picture appeared on the crystal. This is the heavenly court. That person is the Jade Emperor who banished me to the mortal realm. Guapai pointed at the person in the picture and said with a smile, Okay, I won't talk to you anymore. Today, I'll take the two of you as my disciples. Are you willing? Only if the two of you become my disciples will I be able to save the two of you. Boss, you're really an immortal from the heavens? Chen Jiadi asked in disbelief. Chao Qiankuan was still looking at the crystal in front of him. He hadn't recovered from his shock. Acknowledge me as your master. You won't lose out if you become my disciple. Guapai continued. Chen Jiadi and Chao Qiankuan knelt in front of Guapai and performed the ceremony of acknowledging him as their master. Boss, no master. Were you really an immortal in the past? Then what is your identity now? Chao Qiankuan asked softly. You'll know in the future. Now I'll detoxify the two of you. After Guapai finished speaking, the silver needles in his hand quickly pierced into the two of them. The two of them felt as if they had broken a bottle of 5 flavors. All kinds of feelings rushed into their hearts. Endure it. The poison in your body has spirituality. Whether you can expel the poison or not will depend on your luck. Guapai said softly. Chen Yuran's eyes widened. Chen Yuran and Chao Qiankuan were pierced full of silver needles by Guapai. She couldn't imagine that a person could be pierced with so many silver needles. Her scalp went numb. After about the time it took for an incense stick to burn, Guapai's expression became more and more unsightly. According to his estimation, even if the poison in his body had spirituality, It should have been confused by his 100-needle array. It should have escaped from his fingers. However, it seemed that the Chun and Chao Qiankuan didn't show any signs of expelling the poison in their body. Just as Guopai was thinking about what went wrong, Chen Jiadi roared. A drop of black liquid appeared on his right index finger. In an instant, Guopai sealed a jade bottle made of yin-yang twin-life jade, and the liquid was sucked into the jade bottle. Emperor Jia, come behind me. Your poison has been cured. Now it's up to Qiankuan to detoxify it. Guopai shouted. Chen Jiadi stood behind Guopai slowly. After about an hour, a red spot appeared between Chen Jiadi's eyebrows. Guopai shook his head and withdrew his divine sense. Forget it. It's already very lucky to be able to save one. How can I dare to ask for so much? Guopai said to himself. He removed all the silver needles from Chao Qiankuan's body. Chao Qiankuan fell straight to the ground. Qiankuan, I'm Ran. Nothing can happen to you. I came to the imperial capital this time to find you. You bastard, how can you not recognize me? The moment Chao Qiankuan fell to the ground, Chen Yuran, who was placed in another plane by Guopai, suddenly shouted. Her face was full of tears. No wonder the poison in Chao Qiankuan's body couldn't be expelled. It turns out that the two of you know each other. Chapter 648. Chen Yuran, tell us what's going on between you and Chao Qiankuan. If you want to save him, you have to tell us what happened between the two of you. Guopao suddenly stood up and shouted at Chen Yuran when he heard her word. At this time, Chen Yuran was already weeping. When she saw Guopai's magical ability, she faintly believed that this young man who was younger than her might really be an immortal descending to the mortal world. Even if he wasn't an immortal descending to the mortal world, he definitely wasn't an ordinary person. Chao Qiankuan and I lived in the same alley when we were very young. Although I'm 1 year older than him, he was the one who took care of me. When I was 8 years old, I followed my parents to the United States. Since then, we had lost contact. However, I've always thought of this younger brother of mine. He's the brother I cared about the most all these years, the brother I'm willing to accompany for the rest of my life. Hall Master Guo, save him. I beg you, you must save him. Chen Yuran cried. What goes around comes around. No wonder you suddenly appeared in front of Bugyaku and Qiankuan was poisoned. Guopai said softly. You two stay alone for a while. I estimate that Qiankuan will wake up in 10 minutes. I'll think of a way to save you. Guopai finished speaking and walked out of the isolation room with Chen Jiadi. Little bad, why is there still the aura of that poison body? It was clearly completely suppressed by your virtuous body. Shui Yunzi looked at Guopai's worried face and asked softly. Emperor Jia, you continue your work in Bugyaku's hall. I'll think of a way to help Qiankuan and Chen Yuran detoxify. Remember, don't let anyone enter the isolation room. Guopai finished his instructions and led Shui Yunzi and the others to the backyard. Little bad, what's going on? Shui Yunzi continued to ask. If I'm not wrong, it should be when you entered the formation. It could also be when you entered the formation. A trace of the poisoned body ran out and happened to meet Chen Yuran, the woman who was poisoned. The poison attached itself to her body, and she went to Bugyaku for treatment. Chen Jiadi and Chao Qiankuan came into contact with her. The three of them formed a number of 3. Chen Jiadi and Chao Qiankuan were also poisoned. Guopai softly explained. Then, why were you able to detoxify Chen Jiadi's poison, but Qiankuan left in the isolation room? At most, why is it that many talents in Bugyaku are already married, but Qiankuan still doesn't have a girlfriend? That's because he's always thinking about this woman. What he didn't expect was that this woman was also thinking about him. Although the poison in her body was suppressed, the poison that escaped had spiritual qi. Because of the relationship between the two of them, the poison in her body wasn't expelled. Guopao shook his head and said. A group of people who were in the backyard of the clinic widened their eyes. I didn't expect little Qiankuan to be such an infatuated person. After Guo Pai finished telling everyone about Qin Yuran and Chao Qiankuan, Li Shixin said with a smile, "Little Bad, you can't watch such a wonderful couple die together. Uncle Li, if I had a way, I wouldn't have asked everyone to come here again." Guo Pai shook his head and said, "The poison was destroyed, but the poison that escaped is now free. It's attached to a bunch of couples. If you want to suppress it, you have to find another poison body to let it return to its original position. Otherwise, it's impossible to detoxify it." Guo Pai shook his head helplessly and said, "Big brother bad guy, I have an idea." Just as the few people were thinking hard, Yu stood up and said softly, "My good Yu, I knew you would have a way. Since you can think of the virtuous body, did you come across some kind of opportunity recently? Quickly tell me what to do." Guo Pai stood up and hurriedly said to Yu, "Everyone, I don't want to hide this method from you, but it involves some karma, so I can't share it with everyone. Everyone, please go back first. I hope that Big Brother Bad Guy can cure Qiankuan and Qin Yuran." Yu looked at everyone and said. When the group of people heard Yu say that it involved some karma, even if Yu didn't let them go, they didn't want to continue to stay here, and left one after another. "What kind of method is it? First wife, when I entered the great array to pester the poison body, did you meet someone?" Guo Pai asked with a smile. "I met a sister's friend who told me the way to deal with the poison body. However, the way to deal with the poison in Chao Qiankuan and Qin Yuran was Yu's own idea." Yu said with a smile. "Yu, what's the method? Quickly tell me." Guo Pai said with a smile. "The poison in the poison body has spirituality. Since Chao Qiankuan and Qin Yuran are both poisoned, why don't we let the two of them combine? When the time comes, no matter if it's a boy or a girl, because both of them have the poison body, the child will definitely be born with the poison body. Using poison to nurture poison, when the time comes, the poison body in the child will dominate. Naturally, the poison in the two of them can be absorbed into the child's body. Wouldn't their poison be cured?" Yu said with a smile. "Then what about their child?" Guo Pai asked softly. "The child has the poison body, but he grew up in Bugyaku. Don't tell me that Big Brother Bad Guy can't make him work for you?" Back then, the great sage said that if I become a Buddha, there will be no demons in the world. If I become a demon, what can Buddha do to me? Whether the child is good or bad in the end, isn't it the result of postnatal education? Yu said softly. "Right now, there's only one way. Let's save them first. If their child becomes a demon one day, everything will be taken care of by me, mind-reading true monarch." Guo Pai said softly. Yu shook her head and then nodded. Big Brother Bad Guy was really no longer the Big Brother Bad Guy of the past. In the afternoon, Guo Pai appeared in Bugyaku again. Without greeting anyone, he quickly walked into the isolation room. At this time, Chao Qiankuan had already woken up. He was happily chatting with Qin Yuran about something. Ahem. It seems that I've disturbed the two of you. I have some things to discuss with you. I won't take up too much of your time," Guo Pai said with a smile. Chao Qiankuan was thick-skinned. He smiled and called Qin Yuran boss. Qin Yuran's face turned red. "Boss, if you have something to say, just say it. Are the two of us incurable? Just say it. We can bear it," Chao Qiankuan said with a smile. "I've found a way to save the two of you. I need to discuss it with you," Guo Pai said with a smile. "Haha, I knew that boss would definitely have a way to save us," Chao Qiankuan said with a smile. "Boss, I'll also be thick-skinned and say something today. If you cure the two of us, we'll prepare to get married after we get out. Just wait to drink our wedding wine." Chao Qiankuan's words made Qin Yuran's face turn even redder. However, Qin Yuran did not object. Guo Pai looked at the two of them and could not help but laugh. "If the two of you have already planned your marriage, then this matter will be even easier to handle," Guo Pai said with a smile. "You'll have to wait for a year for the wedding. I want the two of you to have a child quickly. After the child is born, I'll hold a wedding for you. At that time, I'll guarantee that you'll be satisfied. Ahem, boss, I thought that we were trendy enough. You're faster than we thought. Chapter 649. Guopai explained the method to detoxify the two of them in detail. Chao Qianquan and Chen Yuran listened attentively. Then, the two of them looked at Guopai at the same time. Boss, if we have to pass on our poison to our descendants in order to save our lives, we can't do that. We know boss's ability. Just seal the two of us and we'll be done with it. We won't say anything against boss no matter what, Chao Qianquan said softly. Chen Yuran nodded gently. Your child has a poison body. It's not necessarily a bad thing, Guopai said softly. Back then, the great sage was also called a demon. But didn't he become a Buddha in the end? Whether he is a Buddha or a devil, the key is how he cultivates. Think about it. When the time comes, I will personally take care of your child. It will be difficult for him to enter the evil path. If boss says so, we will do as boss says, Chao Qianquan said with a smile. Boss, I will have to trouble you to explain to our families. If we disappear for no reason, I'm afraid it will cause some trouble. You don't have to worry about this. I will take care of the matters outside. You just have to stay in the Great Array. I will give you some cultivation technique. You Yuran can also be considered as my disciple, Guopai said softly. After Chen Yuran performed the apprenticeship ceremony, Guopai left some things for them. After thinking about it, he put them in the Limitless Palace. No one will disturb you. I see that the next few days have been pretty good. Hurry up. Guopai came out of the Limitless Palace and said to the two of them with a smile. Chen Yuran's face turned red. Chao Qianquan also felt somewhat embarrassed. Fortunately, Guopai had already left the Limitless Palace. Boss, how are Qianquan and Chen Yuran? Chen Jiadi asked softly. Go and call Brother Yao. I will wait for him in the backyard. Qianquan and Chen Yuran's matter has been resolved. However, you shouldn't be able to see them for a year, Guopai said with a smile. Chen Jiadi did not ask any more and ran to call Li Yao. Go to Chao Qianquan and Chen Yuran's families and tell them that they have been accepted as disciples by our Tiandao sect. They will need to cultivate in the Tiandao sect's forbidden area for a year. After a year, we will come back to see them. Qianquan's family should not have any problems. If the Chen family is not easy to deal with, let second brother give them something practical. It can also be considered as a meeting gift for my disciple, Guopai said with a smile. Li Yao did not ask anything. He was already an expert in the core formation stage. Li Yao cultivated all day long and rarely cared about the matters of mortals. However, since Guopai gave him a task, he must do it with all his heart. During dinner, Li Yao returned to Bugyaku. When the Chao family's patriarch heard that his grandson had been accepted as a disciple by the most mysterious Tiandao sect in Huaxia, his old man almost jumped out of joy. The Chen family and Guopai had the same thoughts. The Chen family's daughter had just returned from abroad and disappeared. The Chen family naturally did not believe Li Yao's words. However, after Li Yao promised to give them 1,000th of yuan international shares, they immediately became happy and completely forgot about Chen Yuran's matter. It's fine as long as the matter is settled. Yuran and Qianquan have already acknowledged me as their master. In the future, they will not have much contact with the secular world. Brother Yao, let's have a meal together. We brothers have not had a good meal and drink for a long time. Guopai said softly. Hearing about drinking wine, Li Yao also became excited. You go and call second brother and third brother. I have something to tell you. Guopai said softly. Li Yao directly called Jia Yuan and Wang Sheng. Jia Yuan's residence was not far from Bugyaku. Wang Sheng was already working in the imperial capital. The two of them arrived at Bugyaku in about half an hour. Fourth brother, we haven't seen each other for a long time. I, as your elder brother, have not been lazy. You see, I am now at the peak of the fasting period. Huaxia, there are not many people who can exchange a few moves with me. Jiayuan said to Guopai with a smile when he arrived at Bugyaku's backyard. Fourth brother, why did you suddenly call us to have a meal together? Is there something wrong? I, as your elder brother, have now gained a firm foothold in the imperial capital. I will help you with the official matters. Although Wang Xing knew that Guopai had a good relationship with Kai Tianyang, it was more convenient to leave some things to him. Brother Yao, Brother Yuan, Brother Xing, we have known each other for 15 years. You have wiped my ass for a total of 9 years. Since my car accident, I have not let you wipe my ass again, right? Guopai said with a smile when a table of dishes was served. He drank a glass of wine. Haha, fourth brother, the reputation of the three of us was ruined by you in the past. Li Yao said with a smile. At that time, you were still young, but you went to all the major entertainment venues. What did you know in the past? I used to ask second brother if fourth brother lacked maternal love and came here to find milk. The four of them said without restraint. Guopai also laughed. 3 elder brothers, do you think I have changed a lot in the past few years? Guopai asked with a smile. Big, it is more than big. Don't you know what you were like in the past? However, ever since you entered the Tiandao sect, I don't know what kind of sect this Tiandao sect is. Although we also have the title of Elder of the Tiandao sect, but fourth brother, you should really thank the Tiandao sect. Compared to the past, you are like heaven and earth, Jia Yuan said with a smile. Li Yao and Wang Xing nodded. Then, do you believe that I am the sect master of Tiandao sect, the most mysterious sect in Huaxia? Guopai continued to ask. I didn't believe it at first, but now I have to believe it. If you didn't inherit something from Tiandao sect, then there is only one way to explain your current ability. That is, you said before that you are an immortal. Haha, you are an immortal. A perverted immortal who peeked at a female immortal. Wang Xing said loudly. Cough cough. If I tell you now that I am an immortal who was demoted by the heavenly court, would you believe it? Guopai coughed twice and said with a serious face. At this time, Jia Yuan and Wang Xing were laughing so hard that they wanted to hide under the table. However, Li Yao stared at Guopai and said 2 words. I believe it. As soon as his voice fell, Jia Yuan and Wang Xing seemed to have suddenly sobered up. They stared at Li Yao with their eyes wide open. Then, they looked at Guopai. Brother Yao, what kind of bewitching potion did this brat give you? You actually said that you believe that he is an immortal. Jia Yuan shook Li Yao and said. Ever since Old Four told me that he is the successor of Tiandao sect, I have been to many places and asked many people. However, in the entire Huaxia, and even the entire Earth, no one knows about Tiandao sect. I don't believe that there is someone who has magical powers like Old Four. If you want to explain everything in front of you, there is only one point. Old Four died in a car accident. Now, Old Four is just possessed by an immortal. Li Yao looked at Guopai and said, Brother Yao, if I am really possessed by an immortal back then, are we still brothers? Guopai was stunned. He didn't expect that Li Yao had already thought of this many years ago. Yes, no matter if you are Guopai, one of the 4 pests of Wu Castle during the New Year, or Guopai, the famous doctor in Huaxia, you are still my 4th brother, Guopai. Back then, Old Four died. Now, Old Four is still alive. We are very happy, Li Yao said softly. Wang Xing and Jia Yuan nodded. Then, I, mind-reading sage, will be your brother in this life. Chapter 650. Guopai looked at the 3 with a smile. Although they had drunk a lot, they were now completely sober. Li Yao looked at Jia Yuan looked at Wang Xing, and Wang Xing looked at Li Yao. Then, the 3 of them looked at Guopai and laughed. 4th brother, we want to know about your past. Tell us. We don't care if you are an immortal or not. Even if you are not, we hope that you can tell us a story. A story about the banished immortal of the heavenly court that you just said, Li Yao said with a smile. Guo Xiao did not hide anything. He started from the time when great sage Sun rescued Chen Guanbao from the Chen family village. He told the story of the mind-reading sage to his 3 brothers bit by bit. They talked from 10 o'clock in the evening until the morning when the weather was slightly cold. The more the 3 of them listened, the more energetic they became. They listened to Guo Xiao talking about the car accident. The remaining days were the days they spent together. I don't know if the first part is true or not, but if 4th brother really appeared in the heavenly court, he would definitely do something like peeping on a fairy taking a bath, Jia Yuan said with a smile. 4th brother, why did you do this to us? Is something going to happen in the human world like you said? Li Yao looked at Guo Pai and asked softly. The last time we went to the Chun village together, we came back in a hurry because of the Chun village. The plague in China last time was also because of the Great Devil. Taoist Gu Qian was also because of the Great Devil. The incident on Medicine Island was also related to the Great Devil. Xiahou Tian, who died at the beginning of the one competition, was the Great Devil's disciple. The world is about to change. It's not something we can stop just because we want to, Guo Pao said softly. Could it be that even you, 4th brother, are unable to stop this catastrophe? Li Yao asked softly. Guo Pai shook his head and said, It's not just me. If the big demon breaks their formation, even if Sky Court sends celestial soldiers down, they won't be able to do anything to them. When that happens, the world will be destroyed. At daybreak, Guo Pai sent Li Yao and the other 2 out of Bugyaku. A major event had happened in Huaxia's business world. In recent years, Huaxia's most popular taxpayer, Yuan International CEO Jia Yuan, had resigned. The CEO of its subsidiary, Sun Lingling, had resigned. The CEO of the Great Physician Group, Murong Weiwei, had also resigned. The CEOs of several other subsidiary companies of Yuan International had also resigned. The entire top management of Yuan International and its subsidiary companies had changed. In fact, the outside world only paid attention to the major events in the business world. The youngest director of the Discipline Inspection Commission, Wang Xing, had resigned from his job and his whereabouts were unknown. The youngest major general in Huaxia's military, Li Yao, had voluntarily left the army and his whereabouts were unknown. Master Li, Master Qiu, I'll leave my eldest brother and 2nd brother to you. Brother Qi, my 3rd brother's cultivation has lagged behind a little. Please take care of him. In the backyard of Bugyaku, Guo Pai handed over his 3 brothers to 3 experts of the human race. Guo Pai was a little surprised that his women had all put down their work. Guo Pai directly asked Yu to bring the women into the Limitless Palace to cultivate. After finishing his business in Bugyaku, Guo Pai drove to the 531 army with his disciple, Zhao Jin. Chen Yenzhou knew that Guo Pai was coming and had made preparations in advance. Guo Pai had asked Chen Yenzhou to prepare 10,000 trustworthy soldiers. Now, he had already found these people. A total of 14,300 people with clean identities were waiting for Guo Pai to see them. Little Bad, eat first. After lunch, I'll take you to see them. Chen Yenzhou said with a smile. Guo Pai nodded. Lunch was very simple. After lunch, Guo Pai followed Chen Yenzhou to a very hidden training ground in the 531 army. The number of people in Huaxia who knew this place was less than 5. Protect the country, kill the enemy courageously. Protect the country, kill the enemy courageously. Protect the country, kill the enemy courageously. Before Guo Pai entered the training ground, the shouts from the training ground made Guo Pai nod slightly. Last time, when the people of the T-Rex group fought with the Poison Devil, Guo Pai saw that Wu Xiu's cultivation was different from that of ordinary people. If it was a one-on-one battle, it would definitely rely on absolute strength. However, if it was a group battle, the strength of these soldiers who ate and drank together all day was definitely not as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. Guopai followed Chen Yanzhou through layers of checks and finally entered the training ground. Guopai was very satisfied with the scene in front of him. All 14,300 people were in high spirit. Chen Yanzhou appeared in front of everyone. With just a wave of his hand, more than 10,000 people lined up neatly as if they were one person. In less than a minute, more than 10,000 people lined up neatly as if they were one person. The 531 Independent Battalion has 14,300 people. We have 14,300 people. Please give us orders, Chief. A soldier who was in the enlightened stage quickly walked to Chen Yanzhou's side and said loudly, "Return to the team." Chen Yanzhou said loudly after saluting the soldier in front of him. The latter quickly walked into the formation. Little bad, the identity of these soldiers has been tested by the army. There is no problem with them. Their files have been pulled out separately. They now belong to the 531 Independent Battalion, Chen Yanzhou said softly. My name is Guopai, the owner of the Bugyaka Gymnasium in the imperial capital, and the suzerain of the Tiandao sect. Guopai stood up and looked at more than 10,000 people and said loudly. From the moment he stood up, more than 10,000 people's eyes focused on Guopai. If it was an ordinary person, more than 10,000 people's eyes would be enough to make an ordinary person sit on the ground nervously. However, Guopai was the person who preached in front of 800,000 heavenly soldiers. Naturally, he was not afraid of more than 10,000 people's eyes. Some of you know me and some of you don't, but in a few days you will all know me. You now belong to the 531 Independent Battalion. But in a few days, in addition to your identity as the 531 Independent Battalion, you will also be the outer disciples of the Tiandao sect. Guopai's voice was not loud, but more than 10,000 soldiers heard it clearly. You don't have to be so serious. Just relax. I won't force anyone. If you join my Tiandao sect, whether it is for Huaxia or for you, it is an opportunity. You will know in the future. The purpose of my visit today is very simple. I will help you improve your strength. Guopai said with a smile. If you have any questions, you can raise them now. Or if anyone wants to withdraw, you can also raise them now. Reporting to the chief. I want to know, if we become the outer disciples of the Tiandao sect, what should we do if the 531 Independent Battalion and the Tiandao sect have a conflict? A soldier stood up and asked loudly. If one day the 531 Independent Battalion and the Tiandao sect have a conflict, I want you to stand on the side of the Tiandao sect. Guopai's voice was not loud. A group of people looked at Chen Yanzhou. The 531 Independent Battalion, or the entire Huaxia military, will not be the enemy of Suzerain Guopai. If such a day comes, there is only one possibility. Huaxia is no longer our Huaxia. Chen Yanzhou said loudly. You are the suzerain of the Tiandao sect. What ability do you have to make us submit to you? A soldier stood up and said. A group of soldiers around him laughed. This soldier was the same as the previous one. He was already at the peak of the enlightening stage. Guopai could feel that the reason why this soldier could reach the enlightening stage was because he took the pill that Guopai gave to Chen Yanzhou. The pill you took was refined by me. Is it enough for you to submit to me? Guopai said with a smile. I can not only improve your strength, I can also improve the strength of your brothers. Is this enough for you to submit to me? Chapter 651. When Guopai's words reached the ears of the 14,300 soldiers, all of them started to tremble. Last time, Chen Yanzhou had given them more than 10 pills, which directly increased the strength of several soldier kings by more than 10 times. They naturally knew the value of pills. This young man, who was younger than them, said that he could increase the strength of all of them. What kind of strength did he have? Guopai's words made Chen Yanzhou's eyes widen. That day, the pills that Guopai had given him had made the 531 battalion stand out again in the recent competition in the military region. He originally thought that Guopai could only increase the strength of 1% of the 14,000 soldiers, but now, Guopai's words were beyond his imagination. 14,300 people, 100 people in a group. I want you to divide into groups in 5 minutes and choose your team leader. If you can't divide into groups or choose a team leader, no matter how many people there are, no matter how strong your talent is, you will be directly eliminated. Guopai's voice faded away, and the people below the stage started to get busy. 3 minutes, the soldiers in front of him only used 3 minutes to have 148 people standing in front of him, with 99 people behind each of them. Such a division made a big hole into more than 100 small group. Chen Yanzhou didn't see anything special about it. There are 100 pills in each jade bottle. I will come back to see you in 7 days. After 7 days, I will only leave 74 groups out of the 148 group. I hope you can strive to be one of the remaining group. Guopai didn't say anything else. After finishing his words, he turned around and left the training ground. Not all of them? Walking out of the training ground, Chen Yanzhou asked softly. Leaving half of them was already far beyond his imagination. However, he didn't understand Guopai's intention. If I have enough time, I really want to directly select 100,000 people from the military region and personally train them one by one. However, I don't have that much time now. Uncle Chen, don't worry, even if I don't want them, they will still be able to reach the level of Soldier King in 7 days. After Guopai finished speaking, Chen Yanzhou opened his eyes wide and nodded. Little Bad, according to your request, other than the 531 military region, each of the other 7 military region will also select 15,000 people. After returning to 531, Guopao received a call from Kai Tianyang. The person on the other end of the phone said softly, "Little rascal, if possible, I hope you can tell me why you organize so many people. Uncle Kai, you'll know one day. You won't believe me even if I tell you now." 7 days later, ask Li Dafu to contact Imperial Capital Satellite TV for me. I want an hour of prime time, Guopai said with a smile. Kai Tianyang agreed immediately. Chairman, what is Little Bad planning to do this time? A lot of things have happened in Huaxia recently, and they should all be related to him. When Kai Tianyang was on the phone with Guopai, Li Dafu was right in front of Kai Tianyang. When he heard that he was going to contact Imperial Satellite TV, Li Dafu asked in a low voice. He didn't tell me, but whatever Little Bad needs, just do as he says, Kai Tianyang said softly. The 500 medical centers have already given Huaxia too many surprises. I don't know what Little Bad is going to do this time, but I'm looking forward to it. For 7 days, Guopai didn't leave 531. He wandered around 531 and Tyrannosaurus Mountain every day. The changes in the 531 army weren't small, but the changes in Tyrannosaurus Mountain were even greater. Guopai equipped all the Tyrannosaurus Mountain Formation stage soldiers with magical treasures, allowing the strength of the Tyrannosaurus Mountain Formation stage soldiers to improve qualitatively. Little Bad, the old man in Bugyaku last time was not weak. We besieged him together in the Golden Core stage, but in the end we couldn't do anything to him. What is the origin of that person? Xia Wudi asked softly. He is a member of a terrifying organization. This is the first time you have fought with him. You will fight with them again in the future. As time passes, you will slowly know who those people are, Guopai said softly. A terrifying organization? How many people like that are in that organization? 10? 20? It can't be that many, right? Xia Wudi heard Guopai's words and asked softly. If there were really so many people like that in the world, then Huaxia would really not be able to stay calm. Dragon King, if I tell you that the members of that organization have already exceeded 100 million, but they are sealed and not many people have escaped. Once they escape, the world will be in chaos. Would you believe me? Guopai said softly. The cup in Xia Wudi's hand fell to the ground with a clatter. Little Bad, what is going on? You and I have known each other for many years, and there are some things that I have never asked. Today, tell me, what kind of sect is the Tiandao sect you are in? How many more terrifying things are there in Huaxia that I don't know about? Xia Wudi said softly. Back then, before I was injured, I had entered the fasting stage and killed those guys in Japan. At that time, I thought that I was the #1 in the world. Now that I think about it, just the entire Tyrannosaurus Rex group, the lowest realm in the past, was already the fasting stage. After hearing what you said, there is actually a mysterious organization that has more than 100 million experts who are on par with me. I suddenly feel that I am so insignificant. Xia Wudi shook his head and said, Dragon King, do you believe that there are immortals in this world? Guopai took a deep breath and asked with a smile. Immortals? I don't believe it. Back then, there was a big shot in Huaxia who said to defeat all monsters and demons. How can there be immortals in this world? Xia Wudi said with a smile. Didn't that big shot who said to defeat all monsters and demons also believe in the existence of ghosts and demons in the end? Guopai said with a smile. Dragon King, think about it. How old is Xianyuan Hao now? He is already an expert in the gold core stage like you. Tell me, how did he cultivate? If I wanted to deal with you, I could take your life with a flip of my hand. How did I cultivate? This is why I have always wanted to know about the Tiandao sect. How many thousands of years of Huaxia's civilization have you inherited? Xia Wudi said softly. I don't believe in ghosts and demons, but I believe that the thousands of years of Huaxia's civilization have left us a lot of good things. Coincidentally, the Tiandao sect obtained these good things, which is why there are so many experts now. Dragon King, if I say that I am an immortal who has descended to the mortal world, would you believe me? Guopai said with narrowed eyes. That day, the person you dealt with was a devil. Would you believe me? After Guopai finished speaking, the teacup that Xia Wudi had just poured hot water into slipped out of his hand and broke into several pieces. His eyes were fixed on Guopai. Guopai smiled and nodded. He stretched out his left hand and looked at the broken pieces of the teacup on the ground. Then, the broken pieces of the teacup returned to its original state. Even the tea in the teacup returned to its original state. I am old, really old. This is the Dragon King's decree. It is different from the one I gave you back then. In the future, the Tyrannosaurus group will be yours. If there are really devils in this world, then you can lead them to slaughter all the devils in the world. Xia Wudi finished drinking the tea in his hand, stood up and walked towards the house. If I have 100 million brothers in the Tyrannosaurus group, even if there are really great devils running amok, I will still dare to suppress them all. 5 devils gather, the world will be in chaos. Come. After Guopai finished speaking, he brought Zhao Jin and flew towards the 531's mysterious base. Chapter 652. 7 days later, Chen Yanzhou and Guopai once again entered the training ground. Chen Yanzhou had just walked a few steps in when he suddenly stopped. Let's go, it's okay. Guopai said softly. Chen Yanzhou nodded. When he entered the training ground a few days ago, he only felt a trace of tension that made him very uncomfortable. This time, he directly felt a little breathless. When Chen Yanzhou followed Guopai, the feeling that made him breathless directly disappeared. Chen Yanzhou followed Guopai into the training ground step by step. Walking into the training ground, Chen Yanzhou was once again shocked by the scene in front of him. There were more than 10,000 soldiers. Their clothes were all tattered, but they were all in high spirits, especially the selected 148 team leaders. Just by looking at them, Chen Yanzhou could not help but take a few steps back. Sovereign! It was unknown who shouted first, but then the others followed. Fortunately, when this mysterious base was built, the soundproofing was good. Otherwise, these people's voices would have alerted the other 531 soldiers, who were thousands of people away. Guopai looked at more than 10,000 people in front of him. He raised his right hand, and the voices just now were suddenly cut off like flowing water. All the voices disappeared directly. Originally, I wanted to take half of you to enter Tiandao sect, but now my idea has changed. All of you will be members of Tiandao sect. Now you have at least entered the enlightening stage. Some of you know what the enlightening stage means, some of you don't, but I will tell you today that you are no longer ordinary soldiers. You are now wuxiu, real wuxiu. Guopai said loudly. More than 10,000 soldiers did not speak. They all looked at Guopai and wuxiu. Some of them had indeed heard of them, but they did not expect that they would be a member now. You are now in the enlightening stage. As long as you are willing to work hard, you will continue to improve. You will enter the fasting stage, core formation stage, gold core stage, yuanying stage, out-of-body stage, spirit-severing stage, fusion stage, crossing calamity stage, Deshang stage, and heaven realm. It is rare for ordinary people to live for 70 years. 100 years is considered a long life, but you are different. As long as you don't fight to the death, in the enlightening stage, your lifespan can exceed 200 years. With the improvement of your stage, you can even achieve immortality like the immortals in the books. Guopai's voice was not loud. Everyone was stunned, and Chen Yanzhou shook his head fiercely. Of course, when you enter my Tiandao sect, I will give you cultivation resources. All of this is not for free. Tiandao sect is the same as the army. We train our soldiers for 1,000 days and use them for 1 day. When Tiandao sect needs you to stand out, it is more dangerous than entering any war. You should understand these things. It is not too late to withdraw now. Guopai continued. Boss, since we have already taken the pills you gave us and Commander Chen has already agreed for us to follow you, then our little lives are yours. Soldiers don't talk big. Tiandao sect is the same as the army. We all understand these things. One of the team leaders said loudly. The others all nodded their heads. Okay, if that's the case, I won't say any more. I won't restrict your freedom, but if anyone dares to use the power of a martial cultivator to recklessly kill, I will personally take your little lives. At other times, I will use all my strength to protect any one of you. Guopai explained some of Tiandao sect's rules to everyone. The first batch of outer sect disciples was finally accepted. After walking out of the training ground, Guopai asked Jia Yuan to take out 10 billion and transfer it to the 531 Army's account. These people were no longer part of the 531 Army. They occupied the 531 Army's training ground. This money was to compensate the 531 Army. Although Chen Yanzhou said there was no need, Guopai still did everything perfectly. No matter when the great demon prepares to start the war of the 3 realms in the human world, I, Chen Qingyuan, will welcome it. After Guopai finished speaking, he drove back to the city of Bugyaku. The matters of the other military region could wait. There were still some matters in Bugyaku that he needed to handle personally. When Guopai returned to Bugyaku, a few girls came out of the house and said with a smile, "Brother Bad Guy, you are in a good mood today. 100 years in the human world, I didn't expect that I would only have a few years of good days. I have contributed so much. If I can avoid this disaster, I will definitely ask the Jade Emperor for another 100 years of good days." Guopai took a deep breath and said softly. The girls now knew Guopai's identity and laughed. Only Xiao Meng looked at her father with a dazed expression. "What do you mean by asking the Jade Emperor for good days? Is the life now not good?" Brother Bad Guy, the 531 armies matter has been settled, right? Uncle Ao and the 3 experts of the dragon race have been in Chin Family Village for a few days. Are you preparing to go to Chin Family Village? Yu asked with a smile. I will definitely go to Chin Family Village soon. But before that, we still have something to do. Guopai said softly and took out the old lord's gourd. Brother Bad Guy, why did you take out the old lord's gourd again? Did you receive something good recently? Yu asked with a smile. That Xiao Yun's soul has awakened. A soul that will be rewarded with good and evil. I think we will have to return her soul. When the time comes, even if the great demon comes, he will have to think about such a person. Guopai said with a smirk. Brother Bad Guy, if you want to return Xiao Yun's soul, have you settled the body? Yu was stunned and asked softly. I don't know how to find a strong body. She was originally an ordinary girl. Many girls die in Huaxia every day. As long as the souls of others are released, I think the dead will agree to lend a body. Guopai said softly. Guopai's words made the group of girls widen their eyes. Although they knew that Guopai was an immortal who had been banished to the lower realm, they didn't know much about immortals. Most of them had seen things like borrowing a body to return a soul in a horror movie. Now that it suddenly appeared in front of them, they couldn't accept it. Brother Bad Guy, you can use a body to return a soul. If we die, can you bring us back to life? Tang Shi asked softly. Little Shi, you don't understand. Brother Bad Guy is an immortal. He is an immortal. We can't die. After a few days, let Brother Bad Guy go to hell and cross out our names from the Book of Life and Death. Then we will never die. Little Yi said with infinite longing. Cough, cough. You are overestimating your husband. Only a strong person like the great sage can change the Book of Life and Death. I can't do it. Guopai shook his head and said. Not necessarily. Brother Bad Guy, if the 3 realms are really in chaos and you lead the forces of the human realm to help the heavenly court deal with the great demon, let alone changing the Book of Life and Death, even if you write Tang Shi and Yi Zi's names on the list of deification, who would say anything? Yu said with a smile. The group of girls began to talk about becoming immortals in the future. Guopai's face was full of black lines. Dealing with the great demon in the human realm? Yu's wife is really daring. Chapter 653. Guopai felt that Yu was thinking too far ahead. However, if the great war of the 3 realms were to happen again, he wouldn't dare to think about dealing with the great demon and hundreds of millions of demon soldiers. However, as long as he could help the heavenly court deal with some of the great demons, it wasn't impossible for him to let Xiao Shi and the others ascend to the heavenly realm. Don't forget that he still had the beast skin of the 9th heaven sealed divine beast. When the time came, he could discuss it with that big guy and the matter might be settled. However, the prerequisite was that he, Tang Shi and the others could survive the great war of the 3 realms. Sai, let's not think so much first. I'll help Xiao Yun find a body. Today is the night of the full moon. As long as there is a suitable body, with my current strength, it shouldn't be a problem for me to reincarnate. Guopai muttered to himself. Big Brother Bad Guy, I've already contacted Uncle Li. Uncle Li just called. Today, a total of 13 girls between the ages of 16 and 20 passed away due to various reasons. The families of 5 of them have been settled and have agreed to donate their organs. Yuan International has already reached an agreement with their families. If they donate their bodies, Yuan International will give them 1 million yuan in one go. Sun Ling said softly and then took out 5 pictures of the girls. Let's take this one. In the afternoon, get someone to pull the body to Bugyaku. Don't walk in front. Guopai said softly. Sun Ling nodded. Guopai pulled Yu into the house to prepare. Big Brother Bad Guy, this time is different from the time when you put Xiao Yun into the gourd. This time, you'll be reincarnating in someone else's body. You have to think carefully. Even if this thing succeeds, there won't be any merit. If Xiao Yun does anything evil in the future, all the karma will be on you. You reminded him. Everything has a cause and effect. Since she has comprehended that good and evil will be repaid, I promised to find her a physical body back then. So, I will help her find one, Guopao said softly. If you fail to return her soul and she's taken away by the people of the underworld, including the crime of stealing the sky and swapping the sun, you'll have to bear all the responsibility. When that time comes, there's really a cause and effect. She'll turn into a malicious spirit again, and follow you around all day long like a time bomb. Think carefully, you said again. That's enough, my good wife. The reason why I dared to reincarnate was because I wanted you's wife to help me. Isn't this a piece of cake for the people around Fairy Chang'e? Guopai said with a smile. You twisted her waist towards Guopai and began to take things out of the old lord's gourd. Xiao Yun, come out and meet me. Guopai set up a magic array in the room and shouted at the gourd. A soul flew out from the gourd. It was none other than Xiao Yun's soul. However, Xiao Yun's soul was much stronger compared to back then. Big brother, I heard what you and big sister said outside. Is all of this true? Do I really have a chance to be reborn? Xiao Yun asked with a hint of excitement. As long as your soul enters your body, given your current level of strength and my magic array's assistance, you will definitely be able to be reborn. However, you must consider this carefully. After you are reborn, only your mind and thoughts will remain your own. Everything else will no longer be yours. Your family and friends will not accept the fact that you are still alive, Guopao said softly. I need them to accept that I am alive. I just want to see them from afar. That's enough. Xiao Yun bit her lips and said softly. Because she had comprehended the good and evil steals good and evil will be repaid, Xiao Yun was only a soul. Her body transformed into a thin veil, and she looked as delicate and pitiful as a jade. Guopai could not help but shiver. Amateus Buddha, Guopai said softly in his heart. Only then did he suppress a sudden trace of evil thoughts. Yuer could not help but laugh. In a moment, the female corpse that you will use to reincarnate will be sent here. This girl passed away today due to an illness. However, her soul should be guarding her body. Knowing that the people of the underworld have taken her away, you will naturally form a karma with her by using her body. When the time comes, ask her if she has any unfulfilled wishes, and you can go and fulfill them for her. Guopai said softly. About 15 minutes later, a side door in Bugyaku opened and the girl's corpse was sent to Bugyaku. The people who sent the corpse did not discover anything. They were only following the orders of their superiors. The girl wanted to donate her body. They brought the body to the medical hall and handed it over to the medical hall. Then they returned. However, Guopai saw it clearly. The girl's soul was looking at her body with tears in her eyes. This girl's soul was different from Xiao Yun's. Back then, Xiao Yun died unjustly and her soul did not enter hell. At that time, she had already become a yiksha. However, this girl was only crying and was very calm. Xiao Yun, go and talk to her yourself. I will deal with the ghost soldiers of the underworld. After Guopai finished speaking, he brought Yuer outside the house to wait for the ghost soldiers of the underworld to arrive. Hello, my name is Xiao Yun. I have died just like you. However, you are a little better than me. My body was taken away and cremated less than an hour after I died. However, you can still look at your body. Xiao Yun flew to the girl's side and said softly, Sister, do good people not live long? I should have died a long time ago. If I had died a few days earlier, perhaps my parents would have had a better life in the future. The girl's soul said softly with tears in her eyes. My name is Linya. I just want to see who my body saved. If it is a good person, I will do something good after I die. If it is an evil person, I will turn into a ghost and not let my body work for evil people. Xiao Ye, I'm luckier than you. I met a good master. Your body was given to me by my master to save me. To be more direct, it was for my rebirth. If you can accept it, I'll use it. If you can't, I won't force you. Your body will be returned to the hospital. Some of your organs will be used to save people in need. Xiao Yun thought for a while and decided to say it. Asking a soul for her body, Xiao Yun felt that no matter what she did, she was going overboard. Sister, you want to use my body? I didn't believe that people would turn into ghosts after they die. Now I do. Ghosts can really be reincarnated in a body. Linya didn't agree or disagree. Back then, I was much more miserable than you. When I died, I was the same age as you. I was forced by a group of animals to commit suicide by jumping off a building. My body was directly cremated, and my soul turned into a malicious spirit. Fortunately, I met my master who severely punished the evildoers and saved my soul. Thus, I believe that good people have good lives. Even if they die, they will also have good lives, little Yun said softly. Elder sister, you don't have to say anything. I can feel that your soul is much stronger than mine. Along the way, I have followed the corpse here. Many souls similar to me have tried to absorb my soul energy. Only you have spoken to me like this. Since this is my fate, then this body of mine belongs to elder sister. I don't need the soul energy anymore. After Linya finished speaking, she separated a bit of energy from her soul and merged it with Xiao Yun's soul. Everything went smoother than Xiao Yun imagined. If you can, go visit my parents during the holidays. They are good people. Thank you, sister. Chapter 654. Xiao Yun watched as Lin Ya's soul became darker and darker. She had mixed feelings and did not know what to say. A girl who had accepted her fate had given up her chance to reincarnate. Xiao Yun could not help but shake her head. However, she heard Guopai and you were bickering with someone not far away. Taibai Jinxing, you have been banished to the lower realm. You should abide by the rules of the lower realm and cultivate well so that you can have a chance to return to the heaven realm in the future. Why do you keep making life difficult for us who are doing hard work? The 6 ghost soldiers outside Bugyaku wanted to enter to take Lin Ya's soul, but they were stopped outside by Guopai. Hee, what do you mean by that? I'm being kind because this is the first time I'm meeting you guys. You can't accuse me for no reason, Guo said with a mischievous smile as he looked at the leader of the 6 ghost soldiers. A few years ago, a vengeful soul was taken away by Taibai Jinxing. She used a substitute to cause us enough trouble. Did Taibai Jinxing forget about this? The ghost soldier looked at Guopai and asked. Guopai could not help but widen his eyes. So these ghost soldiers were the ones who had been waiting for Xiao Yun back then. What a coincidence. It was them again this time. Taibai Jinxing, the black and white impermanents already know about what happened to you last time. If you still dare to stop us from doing business this time, it will be the black and white impermanents who will come looking for you next time. Don't say that we didn't warn you then. The ghost soldier looked at Guopai in a daze and then said loudly. However, just as Guopai was about to speak, he suddenly saw Lin Ya's soul, which had lost its soul power, floating out of Bugyaku. The 3 ghost soldiers directly trapped the remnant soul in the Soul Reaper chain. Guopai frowned and then roughly understood what had happened. The soul you want to capture has been collected. Why don't you go back and report? Guopai looked at the 6 ghost soldiers and said loudly, Take a good look and see if it's the one you want to capture. Don't come looking for me when it's switched. True Lord, the soul is indeed what we want to capture, but there's still a fish in the net. Since it's here today, we'll take it with us, the leading ghost soldier said loudly. Ignoring Guopai, who was blocking in front of him, he suddenly threw the Soul Reaper chain into the Bugyaku. F***CK, you actually dare to use force against me? Good, very good. Do you guys think that I'm easy to bully after being banished to the lower realms? Guopai scolded loudly. You deal with that soul-reaping chain. leave these 6 Lord Ghost soldiers to me. As Guapai spoke, his soul left his body and charged towards the 6 ghost soldiers. Come on, I'm also a soul now. Take out your weapons and take me away, Guapai said loudly. The faces of the 6 ghost soldiers turned gloomy. These years, the news of true Lord Mind Reader had spread in the underworld. Because of the pills he refined, many people's lifespan was changed again and again. The people of the underworld understood that under the rules of the human realm, true Lord Mind Reader was only in the golden core stage. If the black and white impermanents were to take action, they would definitely be able to teach this guy a lesson. However, due to various reasons, the black and white impermanents never came to find trouble with Guapai. However, many ghost soldiers of the underworld had their eyes on Guapai. Naturally, this included these 6 ghost soldiers who had once suffered a great loss from Guapai. Brothers, since True Lord thinks highly of us, let's play with True Lord. It's been a long time since we fought with someone in the human realm, the ghost soldier leader said to the few ghost soldiers with a smile. The 6 of them surrounded Guapai together. Okay, then today I'll see if the ghost soldiers of the underworld are much bolder than before. Their ability is also much greater than before, Guapai said and directly rushed to the 6 ghost soldiers leader. Wu Xiao, who was at the peak of Golden Core, dealt with the 6 ghost soldiers. The ghost soldiers were not careless either. They took out all kinds of weapons of the underworld and fought fiercely for a moment. Brother bad guy, I've already taken this Soul Reaper chain. Ordinary weapons may not be useful for you to deal with ghost soldiers. You'd better try using the Soul Reaper chain. Just when the 2 sides were evenly matched, Ur came out of Bugyaku and threw a long black chain to Guapai. Return the Soul Reaper chain to us and we'll forget about today's matter. The ghost soldier's leader looked at the Soul Reaper chain in Guapai's hand and shouted loudly. This Soul Reaper chain was a magic tool for the 6 of them to deal with powerful ghosts. Only 100 ghost soldiers of the underworld were given such a Soul Reaper chain. If they lost it, they would be in trouble in the future. If you say forget about it, then forget about it. This Soul Reaper chain is mine. Since you like to use it, I'll let you have a taste of it today, Guapai said and hit the 6 ghost soldiers with the Soul Reaper chain. Originally, Guapai couldn't do anything to them, but the Soul Reaper chain restrained them. For a moment, the 6 ghost soldiers were beaten until they cried out in pain. True monarch, these subordinates were just following orders. You've gone too far. Just as Guapao was enjoying himself, 2 people, one in black and one in white, appeared in front of everyone. My lord, we didn't do our job well and the Soul Reaper chain was taken away. Please punish us. When the 6 ghost soldiers saw the black and white impermanents appear, they all knelt on the ground and said loudly, You're not True Lord's match. Back down. The white impermanent said with a smile, True Lord, return the Soul Reaper chain to them. You have no use for it. I was wondering who it was. So it's you guys. We haven't seen each other for a while. This time, the 2 of you are also in the imperial capital. I wonder if it's business or private matters, Guapai said and directly put the Soul Reaper chain into the old lord's gourd. Who said that this thing was useless to me? It was definitely useful to deal with the ghost soldiers. True Lord, last time you used the sky-stealing sun-swapping technique to save a woman's soul. King Yenluo already knows about this. If we're not wrong this time, True Lord should have a bigger plan. The black impermanence didn't answer Guapai's question. Instead, he narrowed his eyes and looked at Guapai. What do the 2 of you mean? I don't understand. Guapai also narrowed his eyes and looked at the black and white impermanence and said, It's the 2 of you who broke into my dojo without permission. That's against the rules. Mind-reading True Lord, you've already been banished to the lower realm. We know very well what you want to do. Just now, we already felt the soul of that woman called Xiao Yun. We followed a female corpse all the way here. Do you dare to say that you're not trying to reincarnate in someone else's body? The white impermanence saw that Guapai didn't listen to them and directly said loudly. When the ghost soldiers heard the white impermanence's words, they all stared at Guapai with their eyes wide open. They only knew that Guapai was mind-reading True Lord, but they didn't expect him to be so daring to reincarnate in someone else's body. Someone in the heavenly court could do it, but no one in the mortal realm dared to challenge the authority of the underworld. Since you all know what I'm going to do, I'll make it clear to you. I'm going to reincarnate in someone else's body. Back then, you didn't manage to capture Xiao Yun's soul. This soul saved my life. I definitely won't let you take her away. Guapai said loudly. True Lord, your cultivation isn't easy. I think you should think clearly. The white impermanence narrowed his eyes and said, I haven't told you to think clearly about breaking into my dojo. What do you want me to think clearly about? Since you're here to capture someone, then let me see how strong the two generals of the underworld are. Chapter 655. As soon as Guapai finished speaking, the black and white impermanence attacked together. 2 morning sticks hit Guapai at the same time. Guapai didn't dare to be careless and took out the Soul Reaper again. However, compared to the morning sticks of the black and white impermanence, the difference between the Soul Reaper and the Soul Reaper was immediately obvious. In just a few moves, the Soul Reaper was broken in half by the morning stick. Damn it, it doesn't work. You guys are forcing me. If ordinary magic weapons can't do anything to you, then I'll let you have a taste of this. As Guapai spoke, a small flame appeared in his palm and rushed towards the black and white impermanence. Lao Fan, be careful, that's the true Samadhi fire. The white impermanence shouted. The black impermanence didn't dare to be careless and hurriedly dodged, avoiding the fire in Guapai's palm. Lao Fan? I remember now. Master Black's real name is Fan Wujio, and Master White's real name is Xia Bian. I know very well where your dojo is. You guys came to my dojo to cause trouble, so don't blame me for finding trouble with you later. Guapai's words stunned the black and white impermanence. True Lord, you've gone too far today. Just as Guapai and the black and white impermanence were fighting fiercely, a gloomy voice sounded in Guapai's ear. The black and white impermanence heard the voice and immediately retreated 100 meters, then knelt on the ground. Welcome, Bodhisattva! The black and white impermanence shouted. A person in black appeared in the void. Bodhisattva, yes, the person who came was Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva, Chen Qingyuan was banished to the lower realm. I didn't expect such a small thing to disturb Bodhisattva. Guapai said with a smile, but in his heart, he cursed. He didn't expect this matter to disturb Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. Although he was now at the peak of the Golden Core realm and wasn't afraid of anyone in the mortal world, he definitely didn't want to fight with such a true immortal. Guapai himself knew very well how big the gap between him and Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva was. If I play around for a while longer, Little Black and Little White will probably be injured by your true Samadhi fire. Then, you will come up with a reincarnation of a corpse. When that happens, some things in the underworld will be difficult to handle, Ksitigarbha said with a smile. Then what is Bodhisattva going to do today? Guapai asked softly. Although I've been banished to the lower realm, Bodhisattva should know about Qingyuan's ability and his relationship with the great sage. I just want to save a fated person. Bodhisattva, you can just turn a blind eye to it. Why do you have to make things so awkward? Guapai said with a smile. I naturally know the relationship between true Lord Mind Reading and the victorious Fighting Buddha. However, this matter today is not up to True Lord to decide, Ksitigarbha said as he walked towards Bugyaku. As soon as they entered Bugyaku, Ur stopped Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva in midair and greeted him with a smile. Bodhisattva, I am Ur. You must be the one beside Fairy. I didn't expect Fairy to send you down to the lower realm to accompany True Lord. Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva shook his head and said, "However, since I'm here today, I must take away that woman's soul." "Damn, do you think that I won't dare to hit you just because you're Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva?" Guopai saw that Ur didn't stop Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva and was instantly enraged. This was his dojo. If Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva took someone away from his dojo, even if he ascended to the heaven realm in the future, where would he put his face if this matter was exposed? Guopai said, as he threw the true Samadhi fire in his hand towards Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. "Chen Qingyuan, you're just a mortal now. At most, you're just a rogue cultivator who hasn't even reached the realm of a rogue immortal. How dare you attack me? You're courting death." When Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva saw Guopai attacking him, he was instantly enraged. "If this was the heaven realm, it would be fine if you used the name of True Lord Mind Reading to suppress me. However, you're just an immortal who was banished to the lower realm. Why are you so arrogant?" Bam! The primordial spirit imprisonment appeared in Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's hand as he threw it towards Guopai. "I won't kill you. However, no one can say anything if I take away your sacred art. Back then, I died unjustly because I was saved by Big Brother Bad Guy. You people from the underworld only know how to capture people. You're still a bodhisattva? What kind of bodhisattva are you?" Just as the primordial spirit imprisonment in Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's hand was about to hit Guopai, a girl's voice rang in Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's ear. Following which, a stone tablet-like shadow appeared between Guopai and Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. The primordial spirit imprisonment hit the stone tablet. Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva was stunned for a moment before he was sent flying 100 meters away by the stone tablet. Good and evil will be rewarded. How can you be rewarded with good and evil? Could it be that you're one of Goddess Nuwa's people? King Yenluo stared at Xiao Yun with wide eyes and asked, forget it. Since you've comprehended that good and evil will be rewarded, I won't interfere in your matters. True Monarch, I've offended you today. If True Monarch returns to the heavenly realm in the future, my original body will definitely apologize in person. With that, Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva brought the black and white impermanence as well as a group of ghost soldiers and quickly flew back to the underworld. Only then did Guopai take a deep breath. If he was hit by Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's primordial spirit imprisonment just now, he would really be in trouble. Big Brother Bad Guy, Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva left. Ur came in from outside and softly asked Guopai, I didn't give face to Big Sister Fairy, but I did give face to Goddess Nuwa. Xiao Yun's good and evil retribution move scared Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva away. Guopai chuckled and said, You should also change your temper. You can't even say a few words and you actually directly attacked Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. You're just a loose cultivator in the Golden Core realm, and you actually dared to attack a bodhisattva. You really don't know the meaning of death. Fortunately, nothing happened this time. Ur smiled and said, however, if you tell Big Sister about your brainless actions, she will definitely laugh for a while. Alright, my good Ur, let's take advantage of the full moon night and let Xiao Yun's soul return to her body. If we knew that Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva was so straightforward, we wouldn't have prepared so much. Come, let's pack up and get ready to begin, Guopai said with a smile. Ur nodded her head. This time, she didn't have to worry about the people of the underworld. Things were much easier to handle. Xiao Yun, soul returned to body. Lin Ya's soul has been given to you, you should be able to easily fuse with her body. In a while, I will use the true Samadhi fire to help you fuse completely. It will definitely be painful, but bear with it. Only in this way will you be able to save a lot of trouble in your future cultivation. Guopai said to Xiao Yun, Big Brother Bad Guy, don't worry. I was able to endure the pain of turning into a malicious spirit back then. Now, there's nothing I can't endure. Xiao Yun said softly as her soul entered Lin Ya's body. Goddess Nuwa, Xiao Yun has received the good and evil retribution from your good and evil retribution monument. Today, I will help her reconstruct her body, which can be considered as finding a descendant for you. I don't want any favors from you, but if this girl does something wrong in the future, the karma will be on you. Guo Pai watched as Xiao Yun's soul completely entered Lin Ya's body. He chuckled as he put away the true samadhi fire. Bugyaku had one more expert. Big brother, big sister Yuer, thank you. Lin Ya stood up and looked at Guo Pai and Yuer and said softly, since you have borrowed Lin Ya's body, your name will be Lin Yun from now on. It can be considered as an explanation to Lin Ya. Chapter 656. Xiao Yun moved her arms and muttered her name. Lin Yun, I've really been reborn. I'll leave Xiao Yun's cultivation to you. Since she's with you girls, just take whatever pills you need. If the three realms really fall into chaos, who cares what happens in the future? The most important thing is to increase your strength first, Guo Pai said softly. You naturally knew what Guo Pai meant. Originally, Guo Pai had planned a cultivation path for the girls in Bugyaku to take one step at a time. This was the only way to become a god. However, ever since the poison demon came looking for them, Guo Pai had used the pills in the old lord's gourd as if they were free. In less than a month, all the girls had become golden core experts. This speed was something that even Chen Qingyuan could not achieve in the past. I know what to do. Don't worry. Uncle Ao and the others have already gone to the Chen family village for a few days. Hurry up and go take a look. A few days ago, I did a divination. Although the heavenly secrets were hidden, I still felt that something was wrong, Yu said softly. I'll rush to the Chen family village tonight. I won't bring anyone. Have Uncle Water and the others stay in Bugyaku. The one sealed in the Chen family village should be the lustful demon's true body. I won't fight him head-on. There's no need for so many people. After Guo Pai finished speaking, he gave Yu a few more things. Then, he rode his sword and flew towards the Chen family village. The lustful demon was actually sealed in the Skyfall Cascade. When I was young, I met the great sage there. Could all of this be related? Flying high up in the sky, Guo Pai thought about the possible connection between him and the great demon. Because of the things that happened in the past few years, if not for someone's special arrangement, he would have just been banished to the lower realm. However, the more he thought about it, the messier it became. Let's not think about it anymore. I wonder how Uncle Ao and the others are doing. I have to hurry over. Guo Pai thought about it and increased his speed. From the imperial capital to the Qin family village, Guo Pai could arrive in a few minutes. Fellow Taoist Wei, you've lost today's game of chess. Ao Feng smiled as he looked at Wei Xingzi and said, I've already answered 2 of your questions, so it's time for you to answer one of mine. Where is the place where the lustful demon was sealed? As soon as Ao Feng finished speaking, Wei Xingzi stood up and smiled. Fellow Taoist Ao, I've been treating you to good food and drinks these past few days because I wanted you to play a few games of chess with me. I don't know anything about the lustful demons you speak of. If you insist on asking, I think you should leave my Wei estate, said Wei Xingzi loudly. Ao Feng frowned. Little Yuan, let's go. We've disturbed fellow Taoist Wei's peace recently. After saying that, Ao Feng led Ao Yuan out of the Wei residence. However, after taking a few steps, Ao Feng suddenly felt that something was wrong. When he turned back, he saw Wei Xingzi's smirk. You think you can come and go as you please? Do you think my Wei estate is an inn? To tell you the truth, the lustful demon is in the Heavenspan River. However, if you want to cause trouble for him, you'll have to pass through me first, said Wei Xingzi loudly. Ao Feng had more or less guessed Wei Xingzi's identity. Ao Feng shook his head and said, You're a human cultivator, yet you're willing to become the devil race's dog. I really feel sorry for you. You feel sorry for him, but isn't your dragon race's situation sad as well? However, when we were dealing with the Dragon Clan, your Dragon Clan also contributed greatly. Now, other than a few Dragon Kings who can't do anything, what else does your Dragon Clan have? You said that Wei Xingzi is sad, but I think you are even more sad. A black figure appeared in front of Ao Feng and Ao Yuan and said softly, "Demonic aura. Just a strand of divine sense has such a demonic aura. It seems like you're the lustful demon." Little Bad was right. The lustful demon isn't dead. His true body is indeed at the bottom of the Heavenspan River. Ao Feng wasn't nervous and said softly, "The other party was just a strand of divine sense. If he wanted to kill him and Ao Yuan, his strength was still far from enough. Descendant of the dragon race, do you still want to participate in the matter of the three realms? However, it's still okay for you to participate. With the devil race's devil race and dragon race's mounts, your strength will increase greatly. You're called Ao Feng, right? Just wait and see. Sooner or later, you'll know how terrifying our devil race's development over the past tens of thousands of years is." Ao Yuan shook his head and said, "Uncle Feng, what should we do now?" Ao Yuan shook his head and said, "I tried this formation just now. It's very similar to the one outside the Dragon Burial Valley. With our strength, we can't break it. Wait, all we can do now is wait. Guopao should be here by now. When he finds Xiao Ji and Xiao Yu, we can get out." After Ao Feng finished speaking, he sat down cross-legged. Since they couldn't get out, they might as well stay inside. Guopai had already reached the Heavenspan River. When his divine sense spread out, he didn't find Ao Feng. However, the other two weren't outsiders. Ao Ji and Ao Yuan were cultivating not far from the Heavenspan River. They also felt Guopai's aura and woke up from their meditation. "Guopai, you're finally back. Uncle Feng and A Yuan have already entered the Heavenspan River. It's been 7 days, but there's still no news." Ao Yu said softly, "Ao Ji, come with me. Ao Yu, if we don't come out in 7 days, go back to Bugyaku. Tell Senior Shui Yunzi to come here. He'll have a way." Guopai said and entered the Heavenspan River with Ao Ji. Ao Yu stayed on the shore. If I'm not wrong, that problematic fellow Taoist Wei should know a lot. Let's go ask him first. This was Guopai's second time entering the Heavenspan River. Everything was familiar to him. He flew directly to the Wei mansion. "Fellow Taoist Wei, we meet again." Wei Xingzi seemed to know Guopai was coming and came out to welcome him. Guopai said with a smile, "It's been a while since we last met. How have you been, little brother?" Wei Xingzi asked with a smile. "Good, very good. I can see that Brother Wei's strength has grown quite a bit. It seems you've had some fortuitous encounters at the bottom of the Heavenspan River." A bead appeared in Guopao's hand. Ao Feng and Ao Yuan appeared on the bead. "Brother Wei, I don't know how my two friends offended you, but please let them out first. We can talk things out." Guopao didn't beat around the bush. He smiled and said, "Brother Wei, I don't know how my two friends offended you. Guopai, since you already know, I won't say anything else. If you want to cause trouble for His Excellency, you'll have to go through me, Wei Xingzi. I've trapped your friends in my array. You too can enter as well." After saying that, Wei Xingzi waved the horsetail whisk in his hand and Guopai and Ao Ji appeared before Ao Feng and Ao Yuan. "Little Bad, you're here." Ao Feng looked at Guopai and said with a smile, "I just saw your shadows on the phantom bead. I didn't expect Wei Xingzi to directly admit that he's related to the great demon. Let's go out and meet this Wei Xingzi," Guopai said with a smile. Ao Feng nodded. Dragon Sealing Array. It seems the demon race was quite wary of the dragon race. Otherwise, how could there be so many demon race descendants who know about the dragon sealing array? Ao Yuan, Ao Ji, look carefully. If you encounter similar arrays in the future, use this method to break them. After saying that, Guopai placed down the jade core and drew a talisman in the air. Then, He whispered the word break and the array was broken. Chapter 657. Guopai, Aofeng, and the others walked out of the dragon's sealing array and walked towards Wei Xingzi. Wei Xingzi didn't look nervous at all. Aofeng wanted to say something but was stopped by Guopai. Guopai, just do what you want. Wei Xingzi shouted. I won't kill you. Tell me where the lustful demon is and I'll go meet him. Guopai said with a smile. Wei Xingzi wanted to say something but a black-clothed man appeared in front of them. True monarch, you're amazing. You actually came looking for me. I wonder what true monarch is planning to do? The black-clothed man said with a smile. He didn't look nervous at all. What else can I do? I was disturbed by Lord Lustful Demon when I went back to my hometown to worship my ancestors. Naturally, I'm here to see if Lord Lustful Demon's seal is still there. If it's not, I'll find a way to get another one. Guopai said with a smile. Aofeng and the others opened their eyes wide. Even if he wanted to strengthen the array that trapped the lustful demon's true body, he couldn't say that. Haha, true monarch, the place where I was sealed is just ahead. I've done a lot of small things in the past 10,000 years. Although I can't let my true body escape from the array, I can still release a trace of my divine sense to do some interesting things. The lustful demon said with a smile. Guopai narrowed his eyes. This lustful demon was abnormal today. True monarch, are you surprised today? Not only can I tell you where my true body is trapped, I can also tell you where the others are trapped. The lustful demon looked at Guopai's expression and said with a playful tone. Dream Boss is in the depths of the heavenly lake in Changbai Mountain. Blood Boss is in South Africa. Third Boss is at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Fifth Boss is at the Eastern Sea's Medicine King Island. You can send someone to take a look. We've studied the array that trapped us over the years. Why are you telling me this? Guopai was stunned and asked softly. He could see from the lustful demon's eyes that he wasn't lying. A great demon wouldn't lie. Because we don't want to fight with you for the next 5 years. We're too lazy to fight with you. We're going to let you live for 5 years. If you don't return to the heaven realm after 5 years, we'll have some fun. The lustful demon said, as if he was talking to an old friend. You're confident that you can break the array's heaven's domain. After 5 years and bring billions of demon soldiers to take over the human realm. If lustful, and lustful demon, and I, if, and lustful s22 to this 22. The lustful demon said with a smile. Guopai's heart tightened. It seemed like the calamity of the human world was unavoidable. Since Lord Lustful Demon has said so, Guopai. Maybe I can find something. Back then, I was prepared to stay in the human realm for 100 years. But you guys messed up my plans. Guopai said with a smile. Who's the demon? Who's the Buddha? Actually, with lustful demon's wisdom, it's a waste of your talent to be a true demon in the heavenly court. Although I don't know why lustful demon was banished to the lower realm, if possible, lustful demon can consider the demon race. It's just a title. After billions of years, the strong will be respected. Who would call someone a demon? Haha. The lustful demon laughed. Guopai didn't say anything. He led Aofeng and the others away from the Heaven Ascension River. Little Bad, do you believe the lustful demon? Aofeng asked softly. Let's go to the places he mentioned. If it's really the place where the great demon is sealed, then what the lustful demon said is true. However, I've been wondering why the demon race is so confident. Guopai said softly. Let's go back first. If what the lustful demon said is true, then there are some things we can't stop. Aofeng nodded. The 5 of them quickly flew towards Bugyaku. What? The lustful demon told you where the other great demons are sealed. He's confident that he can break the seal in 5 years? The demon race is controlling the human realm? How is that possible? Yu couldn't help but stand up after hearing Guapai's words. I didn't believe it at first, but when I came back from Jade Tree, I used my divine sense to scan the location of Changbai Mountain's heavenly lake. There is indeed a powerful formation there. I came back this time to tell everyone that we'll split up and see if the 4 locations the lustful demon mentioned are really the places where the great demons are sealed. If it's really as he said, then we'll have to come up with a plan, Guopai said softly. Next, Shui Yunzi took the initiative to go to the Eastern Sea to investigate. Guotong Yuan and Xian Yuan Hao went to Changbai Mountain's heavenly lake. Ao Feng brought the 3 of them to the Pacific Ocean. Li Shixin and Qiu Daoyuan went to South Africa. Guopai stayed behind in Bugyaku. The atmosphere in Bugyaku became tense again. Big brother bad guy, you don't need to be so nervous. If the great demons are really rampaging, the heavenly court won't just sit by and watch. At most, we'll have another war of the 3 realms like tens of thousands of years ago. Yu softly said. Guopai watched them leave and gently shook his head. There were many records of the war of the 3 realms in the heavenly book. The situation of the human race back then was completely different from the current human race. Experts like Li Shixin and Qiu Daoyuan could be found everywhere, but they could be found everywhere. That was why the immortal world valued the human race so much. In the end, many humans were sealed because of the great demons and became immortals. If the war of the 3 realms really happens again, how many people do you think will be able to participate in the war of the 3 realms? With more than 100 million demonic soldiers, how many people from the heavenly court will be able to come to the human realm? At that time, how many mortals will lose their lives? Guopai shook his head and said, no matter who set this up, the war of the 3 realms will not be a good move for the human race. My foundation is in the human realm. I cannot watch the human realm suffer. Guopai softly said. Big brother bad guy, I know what you mean. We still have 5 years. We still have a chance. As long as we can create a force of 10 million wuxiu in 5 years, both the demonic race and the immortal world will have to think twice about this war of the 3 realms. Yu softly said. Guopai nodded, but creating a force of 10 million wuxiu was not that easy. Guopai's mind was in a mess. The atmosphere in Bugyaku became tense. The Lingxiao Palace of the Heavenly Court was not peaceful anymore. Jade Emperor, the great demon we have been monitoring, suddenly became obedient. I wonder if something is going to happen. Is the demonic race plotting something? Taibai Jinxing stood out and softly said, Dear ministers, what do you think about this? Jade Emperor smiled and asked. The great demon becoming obedient is a good thing. It means that good days are coming for the human realm. Your Majesty is wise. After Jade Emperor finished speaking, the immortals in the Lingxiao Palace of the Golden Arches all spoke. Only a few people did not speak. After everyone left the Lingxiao Palace of the Golden Arches, Taibai Jinxing walked to the side of pagoda-bearing Heavenly King Li Jing. Heavenly King Li, you were very worried just now. I wonder if it was because of the human realm? Chapter 658. When Taibai Jinxing walked over to ask Heavenly King Li, a few other ascendant immortals who didn't speak in the Lingxiao Palace also walked over. Heavenly King Li gave the other ascendant immortals a look and they all walked towards Heavenly King Li's training ground. Li Jing, the 3rd prince, has been in the lower realm for some time. Do you have any news? Taibai Jinxing asked softly. A few days ago, I could still see the situation of Neza and the human realm through a magic treasure. But recently, the human realm's secrets have been concealed. I can't know what's going on in the human realm. Li Jing shook his head and said, But there's one thing I'm sure of. Something must have happened in the human realm. When the 3rd prince went to his dojo, Chui Ping Mountain, there were traces of demons. Lord Taibai, you said there might be traces of demons in the Lingxiao Palace. What news did you get? Zhu Lingshen asked softly. Back when I went to Mount Huagua, I left some Taoist teachings in a few places with decent spiritual qi in the human world. Recently, 3 people have destroyed all the Taoist teachings in the human world. In addition, the heavenly fate has been concealed recently. I thought about it and thought that the only people who would do such things were the devil race. That's why I brought up the devil race. I didn't expect the Jade Emperor to reject it. What news did you get? Don't hide it anymore. Let's talk about it. If something happens in the human world, we will be implicated sooner or later. It's better for us to be prepared, Li Jing said softly. A few of my dojos in the human world were destroyed by someone a few days ago. Although it doesn't affect me much now, my thoughts are similar to Lord Taibu's. The only person who would destroy my merit body is the great devil, Julingxin said softly. Our merit bodies in the human realm were all destroyed. After Julingxin said that, the other immortals also said. Li Jing and Tai Bai Jinxing looked at each other. Something big must have happened in the human realm. Everyone, the fairy invites everyone to the Moon Palace for a gathering. Just as they were chatting, a big guy carrying a huge axe walked into Li Jing's dojo. Who else could it be but Wu Gang? The few of them nodded slightly. Although many people in the heavenly court did not like this fairy from the Moon Palace, Tai Bai Jinxing, Li Jing, and the others only knew of this fairy's abilities. Wu Gang, go back and tell the fairy that we'll be there soon, Tai Bai Jinxing said with a smile. Wu Gang didn't say much and went back with the axe. Queen Mother, did something really happen in the human realm? I saw that many people in the Lingxiao Palace today. Jade Emperor saw the immortals leave and asked the Queen Mother. So what if something happened? Can you shut it? The Queen of the West said coldly, You can't do anything about this, and neither can I. Just be the Jade Emperor for as long as you can. After all, you've been the Jade Emperor for tens of thousands of years. You're already sick of being the Jade Emperor. Ever since True Lord Mind Reading was banished to the lower realm, and then the third prince came to the lower realm, some people said in private that Fairy Chong Yi's Jade Rabbit also came to the lower realm without permission. Did someone set a trap? Shin, as I told you, don't ask what you shouldn't ask. It's not good for you to ask too much. Why don't you learn from your mistakes? The Queen Mother punched the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor flew back 1,000 meters and crashed into the pillar of the Lingxiao Palace. Cough, cough, I'll remember this punch. The demon race's matter has nothing to do with me, and it doesn't seem to have anything to do with you either. I won't interfere, and you better not interfere. Don't think that I don't know what happened between you and Dream Demon. After Jade Emperor finished speaking, he wiped the blood from his mouth and walked out of the Lingxiao Palace of the Golden Arches. Big sister, I've already informed Tai Bai Jinxing and the others. You don't talk to those people. Why did you call them to the Moon Palace today? Wu Gang asked Chong Yi, what else can we do? Little Wu Gang, the world is going to be in chaos. This is an opportunity for you. If you grasp it well, breaking through to the 12th heavenly layer will be a piece of cake. Chong Yi said with a smile. How can there be such a good thing? Big sister, although I'm big, I'm not stupid. If I want to break through the 12th layer of heaven, I have to cultivate step by step. Wu Gang said with a silly smile. I'm telling you the truth, but you don't believe me. I relied on this opportunity to reach the top. Otherwise, how do you think I have the strength now? Chong Yi was not angry. She said with a smile, since you don't want this opportunity, I'll give it to someone else. No, my good sister. You know, I've been trapped in the 11th layer of heaven for almost 10,000 years. I'm just one step away. Sister, please help me. Wu Gang saw that Chong Yi didn't seem to be lying. There's a catastrophe in the human world. It's not too late for you to go down now. I'll give you a few days off. Go to the human world. Chong Yi said with a smile, when you go to the mortal world, go to your. You should be able to find her easily. Listen to the arrangement of mind reading, Immortal. The key to whether you can break through or not depends on him. Haha, interesting, it's getting more and more interesting. Fairy Chang-yi couldn't help laughing. Sister, why do you have to listen to mind-reading Immortal when you go to the mortal world? He's a pervert. Wu Gang shook his head and asked. He dares to peep at me taking a bath. Do you dare? Chang-yi giggled and said, ignoring Wu Gang, whose eyes were wide open. Why aren't you scramming? Big Sister is giving you directions, yet you are still asking questions. Do you have to wait until Tai Bai Jinxing and the others come before you leave? Wu Gang saw that his sister, who was fine just now, suddenly flipped out. He didn't dare to ask any more questions and directly rushed to the human world from the Moon Palace. A strong wave was suppressed by Chang-yi's jade-like hand. Fairy, why did you call us here in such a hurry today? Tai Bai Jinxing and the others appeared in the Moon Palace together, not long after Wu Gang left. Tai Bai, others don't know why I called you here. Can't you guess what I'm going to do? Fairy Chang-yi said with a smile. The good days of the human world are coming to an end. You should have a good relationship with mind-reading Immortal, who was banished to the mortal world a few days ago. I want to borrow something from you. Of course, it's not for me, but for Chen Qingyuan. Fairy, please enlighten us, Tai Bai Jinxing said with a smile, still acting as if he didn't know anything. Old man, mind-reading Immortal gave you so much wine to drink in the past. Today you actually don't know anything. Chang-yi said with a smile, but I can understand. I'll tell you clearly today. I need some magic treasures that the heavenly court doesn't need and those that you left in the mortal world. The more, the better. Fairy, why do you need so many magic treasures? The things we have don't seem to catch your eye. Li Jing asked softly. Something bad is about to happen. Something is about to happen in the human world, so I'll give you some benefit. If you continue to ask questions, then I'll give it to someone else. I need tens of millions of magic treasures, not those damn awesome things. Just give me something that can be used by heavenly soldiers and heavenly generals. It would be best if you can deliver it to me within 3 days. If you can't, then I'll think of something myself. You can leave now. After Chang-yi finished speaking, she walked towards her palace without looking back. Chapter 659. Tai Bai Jinxing hastily walked out of the Moon Palace. Li Jing and the others didn't dare to stay any longer. They all knew how terrifying this woman from the Moon Palace was. Lord Tai Bai, what should we do next? Zhu Shin softly asked. He knew of Chang-yi's abilities, but he didn't know what this crazy woman from the heavenly court wanted to do. Zhu Shin, I remember that you had a lot of divine weapons when you were in charge of the heavenly army. Find a way to get them all. Heavenly Kingly, you should be able to get a lot of weapons as well. As for the others, how much you can get will depend on your own abilities. In any case, I'll tell you one thing, the fairy won't mistreat anyone. Guopai naturally didn't know that the human realm wasn't in chaos yet, but the heavenly court was already in chaos. When Shui Yunzi and the others returned to Bugyaku, Bugyaku's backyard was once again filled with people. Little Bad, the location the East Sea lustful demon mentioned does indeed have a sealing formation. I've already verified it. It's the seal that the human and God worked together to seal the great demon. However, I've checked the seal as well. The great demon's divine sense can leak out after tens of thousands of years. It's impossible for his main body to break the seal. Shui Yunzi softly said. Boss, there's a sealing formation at the bottom of Changbai Mountain's heavenly lake. There's no doubt that the dream demon is inside. Xianyuan Hao softly said. Guopai was stunned. How can you be sure that the dream demon is inside? Guopai softly asked. Xianyuan Hao shook his head and said, when we arrived at the bottom of Changbai Mountain's heavenly lake, the dream demon discovered us and met us. At the time, I had already taken out my 12-petal lotus, but we didn't fight. The dream demon immediately recognized me and even revealed Brother Tongyuan's identity. He and Guopai arrived at Changbai Mountain's heavenly lake and directly dived to the bottom. When the two were looking for the ceiling formation, a black-clothed person appeared before them. It was similar to the situation when Guopai encountered the lustful demon at the bottom of Heavenly Lake. Third Crown Prince, the matter of the human realm Dao ground has been settled. Why haven't you returned to the heavenly court? Are you planning to find a wife in the human realm? The black-robed man asked with a smile. If I'm not wrong, this friend should be the most pretentious ascendant who was struck by the heavenly thunder back then, Taoist Tong Yuan. With a single sentence, he had directly revealed Xian Yuan Hao and Gua Tongyuan's identities. If that black-clothed man had similar battle prowess as them, the two of them would have been seriously injured. Haha, you're surprised, aren't you? But I'm not surprised that you're here. I am a dream demon. I see that your life in the human world is very boring. Why don't I bring you into the dream world and let you find a few fairies in the sky to have some fun? The black-robed man said. Guotong Yuan and Xin Yuan Hao's faces were filled with black lines. At the same time, they raised their vigilance to the highest state. You don't have to worry. If I wanted to trick you, you would have entered my dream world long ago. Go back and tell True Lord Mindreading that I'm sealed at the bottom of Changbai Mountain's heavenly lake. If he doesn't believe me, he can come and find me personally. I can't leave now, but when I do, I'll go and find him. Haha. With that, the black-robed man disappeared in front of Gua Tongyuan and Xian Yuan Hao. The one sealed under the Pacific Ocean is the poison demon. We didn't fight, but there wasn't a single living thing around the ceiling formation. It should be the poison demon without a doubt. Ao Feng nodded and said, Little Bad, we also went to the place in South Africa that you told us about. There was a ceiling formation. Around the formation, there were corpses and bones everywhere. There was even a trace of blood on the ground. We didn't see the blood demon, but it should be the place where the blood demon was sealed, because there were many old human friends' auras in the formation. Li Shixin said softly. Guopai nodded after hearing their words. The four groups returning meant that the lustful demon's words were true. However, Guopai still had a big question. The lustful demon said that 5 years later, the great demon would control the human world again. Where did his confidence come from? What was the demon's conspiracy? Everyone, it's been hard on you this time. Everyone, go back and rest. Let's have dinner together tonight. Let me think about what to do next. After Guopai finished speaking, he went back to his residence. Yu thought for a moment before leading the group of women into the limitless palace. During dinner, the group gathered again. Li Yao, Jia Yuan, and Wang Xing, as well as the other group leaders of the Tyrannosaurus group, appeared in Bugyaku's backyard. Guopai looked at his 3 sworn brothers and nodded with a smile. It seemed that his sworn brothers hadn't been idle recently. Their realms had increased by a lot. Little Bad, I thought for a long time. Since there are no outsiders here, I will speak directly. Shui Yunzi thought for a moment before speaking in a relaxed manner. Uncle Shui, please speak freely. Guopai nodded and said. The lustful demon dared to say 5 years. This means that the demon race has already found a way to break the seal. Just as the lustful demon said, if the seal is broken, the human realm will fall into the hands of the demon race. At that time, the 10 billion people in the human realm will all become the slaves of the demon race. They can use these people to provide them with enough power of faith. This power of faith is enough for the demon race to fight against the heavenly court. If the 100 million demon soldiers is true, the heavenly court will also fall. Shui Yunzi said softly. Everyone nodded. The demon race indeed had such strength. At that time, although the demon race might not be able to kill us under the suppression of the human realm's laws, it won't be difficult for them to seal us. Shui Yunzi continued, I think that we should make preparations in other planes. If the demon race really rises, we can just escape. If the 5 years is just a ruse, then we can continue to cultivate in the human realm and ascend to the heavenly realm in the future. Of course, there is another method. It is what Zhao Jin said. If we can gather 100 million wuxiu, we can challenge the demon race. Shui Yunzi finally said. I agree with Senior Shui's idea. There are many places we can hide. If we hide in the limitless palace in Boss's hands, the demon race might not be able to find us. After 10,000 years, if the heavenly court wins, then we can come out. In this war of the 3 realms, the human race is no longer as brave as they were in the past. Guotong Yuan said softly. After Guotong Yuan finished speaking, Li Qiu and the other human experts helplessly nodded. Things were indeed as Guotong Yuan said. The human race was no longer as brave as they were in the past. Big brother bad guy, what do you plan to do? The few people stopped talking. Yuer looked at Guopai and asked softly. Everyone's eyes also gathered on Guopai. If the demon race wants to fight, then we will fight. If we hide, even if the demon race's calamity ends, it will be difficult for us to deal with our inner demons. The rise of the demon race is a disaster for us, but it is also a great opportunity. If we can deal with the great demon, even if we can't, as long as we work hard, the heavens will see what we do. The world should give us a fair answer. Guopai's voice was not loud, but the group suddenly felt their blood boiling. The feeling of fighting the demon race in the War of the 3 Realms appeared again. Chapter 660. Good, very good. Haha, I really didn't misjudge you. Haha, Aofeng, what do you think? You lost our bet this time. After hearing Guopai's words, Shui Yunzi said with a smile. Haha, it seems that I underestimated Little Bad. I don't have any complaints about losing this time. Aofeng said with a smile. Li Shixin, Qiu Daoyuan, and the others also laughed. Guotong Yuan also had a mischievous smile on his face. Everyone, what do you mean by this? You've really confused me. Guopai looked at them and said with a smile. Brother bad guy, even Yuer understands. Don't tell me you don't? Yuer said with a smile. Uncle Shui and the others are testing brother bad guy's attitude. They want to know whether you're prepared to fight the demons to the death or choose to protect yourself. It seems that everyone is very satisfied with brother bad guy's choice. After all this time, you're actually testing me. After hearing Yuer's words, Guopai couldn't help but laugh out loud. Since everyone is prepared to fight the great demon to the death, my previous worries are unnecessary. In fact, after the group of people talked about the great demon at noon, Guopao began to hesitate. Otherwise, he wouldn't have waited until dinner time to gather everyone. This was because the people around him were not only from the human race, but also from the dragon race, who didn't contribute much during the Great War of the 3 Realms. Shui Yunzi, who was used to being free, and even a few human race experts. He didn't expect that he was thinking too much. Brother bad guy, tell us about your plan. Yuer said with a smile. At this time, Guopai discovered that apart from himself, most of the people in Bugyaku knew about this test. Otherwise, they wouldn't have acted so realistically. My disciple Zhao Jin said that Wu Xiu's plan with billions is not completely impossible. Guopai's first words made everyone open their eyes wide. Even Zhao Jin, who proposed this proposal, couldn't help but open his eyes wide. Master! Zhao Jin couldn't help but shout. Don't speak first. I know what you want to say, but you have to listen to me first. Guopai said with a smile. Let's listen to Little Bad first. I'm looking forward to this Wu Xiu's plan. Shui Yunzi said with a smile. Right now, there are no more than 100,000 people in the world who have reached the Xiantian realm. If I want to create 100 million martial artists, they must all be at the fasting realm. It sounds like a fantasy story, but in fact it is not impossible. Guo said with a smile. There are a total of 13 billion people on Earth. If we use them well, Together with Bugyaku's medicinal pills, we can produce 30 million wuxiu and 100 million Xiantian realm experts in 5 years. Guopai said softly. Little rascal, it won't be easy to gather 30 million Inidia experts. I know your ability in alchemy. Even if you have all the ingredients, you can still concoct pills day and night. But where are you going to find people with talent and character that you can trust? Even if you find 3 people, 30 million Inidia cultivators against 100 million devil soldiers, there's no chance of victory. Ao Feng said softly. In terms of talent selection, it's similar to Bugyaku's plan. Bugyaku can open 500 medical centers in Huaxia in a day. Then, if Tiandao sect wants to open 500 martial arts centers, we can also open 500 martial arts centers in a day. Of course, this is only in Huaxia. I want to open 10,000 martial arts centers in the world. Each martial arts center can train 3,000 wuxiu. Then, these 30 million wuxiu can be solved. Guopai's voice was not loud, but the group of people widened their eyes. Boss, 10,000 martial arts centers. Let's not talk about money. Jiayuan has plenty of money. If it doesn't work, we can salvage all the treasures from the bottom of the sea. The cost of opening martial arts centers can be solved easily. However, the martial arts centers need people to operate in order to find good seedlings. 10,000 martial arts centers, 10 masters for each martial arts center. This will require 100,000 masters. What will you do with these people? Guotong Yuan asked softly. When I went to 531 some time ago, Commander Chun selected more than 10,000 people for me. The quality and character of these people are trustworthy. In about half a year, they will definitely be qualified to be the instructors of the martial arts centers, Guopai said with a smile. Boss, this is only slightly more than 10,000 people. Including the rest of us, it will be amazing if we can gather 20,000 people. It's still a long way from 100,000 people, Guotong Yuan continued. The military region of Huaxia can gather more than 10,000 people. The 8 military regions only need about 10,000 people. In addition, the people of Huaxia can also be recruited. 100,000 instructors is still very easy, Guopai said with a smile. Little bad, you are preparing to play a big game of chess. However, even if there are 30 million wuxiu, they will still not be a match for 100 million great demons. Li Shixin shook his head and said. Selecting 30 million loyal people from 10 billion people is already the limit. I am preparing to cultivate the other 70 million from Xian beasts. Of course, there are not many Xian beasts in the human world. However, if we give them some ordinary Xian beast's blood, they will definitely be more powerful than the wuxiu in the human world. Guopai said and snorted towards the sky. A snow-white squirrel ran onto Guopai's shoulder. Boss, this little guy is already in the enlightening stage. How did you do it? The others did not see it, but Futaba saw it clearly. He could not help but ask. I used the power of virtue to help it open its spiritual intelligence. Then, I gave it a pill and it could reach this level. Guopai said with a smile. The group of people widened their eyes again. The power of virtue. How much power of virtue would it take to create an army of 70 million Xian beasts? However, when they thought about the accumulation of Guopai in the human world over the years, the group of people could not help but feel relieved. Solving the plague and opening the medical center, Guopai's power of virtue really allowed him to have such information. Moreover, this time's effort was not in vain. If the chaos of the demon race could be solved, the amount of power of virtue he could obtain would be an astronomical figure. Futaba, Mao, Huda, Hu Gong Si, Leopard Wu, Lang Lu, this time you will have to work hard. You have followed this young master for so many years. Today, this young master needs your help. It is not excessive at all. Guopai looked at the Xian beasts and said with a smile. Boss, if there is anything you need us to do, just tell us. We will definitely not do anything, Futaba said with a smile. He had followed Guapai for the longest time and understood the matter of the demon race the most. He quickly stood up and expressed his opinion. You guys will act separately. I will give you a year's time to find as many helpers as possible. Tigers, leopards, bears, lions, anything will do. If you can't find so many, find some smart guys. When the time comes, you guys will gather the guys and take good care of them. I will look for you in a year's time. Guapai said loudly, Take these pills. You guys have followed me for so many years. You should know how to use these pills very well. Guapai said a few more words to Futaba and the others. Futaba and Air Mao were in a group while the others fought on their own. They flew towards some primitive forests in Huaxia. Don't just limit yourself to Huaxia. Go to the tropical rainforest and get me some giant pythons. When the time comes, they will definitely be experts. Guapai looked at the figures of the few people flying away and said loudly behind him, Boss, don't worry. We will meet in a year's time. Futaba's voice sounded. Guapai nodded. Whether this opportunity would succeed or not depended on Futaba and the others. Chapter 661. The group of people looked at Featherhead and the rest leaving and gently nodded their heads. Guapau's plan could not be said to be a good opportunity, an excellent opportunity. If a fight really broke out, even the Demon Lord would not expect that Guapao would find such a group of helpers. Little bad, let's go help Futaba's group. 70 million Xian beasts aren't easy to get. Li Feng and I know the language of beasts, so we're not inferior to Futaba's group. Qi Yun stepped forward and said, Good. With Brother Qi and Brother Li's help, I'm even more relieved. Guapai nodded and gave Qi Yun and Li Feng more pills. Qi Yun and Li Feng directly flew on their swords and rushed towards the border between Huaxia and Russia. Little bad, what do we need to do? Tell us. I'm looking forward to the battle with the great demon now. Shui Yunzi smiled. Seniors, you have sharp eyes. In the first year, each of you can find me 100 seedlings with talents similar to Brother Yao. If a battle really breaks out, we need soldiers, but we need good generals even more. This shouldn't be too hard for you. Guapai looked at Shui Yunzi, Ao Feng, Li Shixin, and Qiu Daoyuan and said with a smile, Ahem, brat, your talent is about the same as Li Yao's. Why don't you ask each of us to find you 100 exiled immortals? Wouldn't that be better? Shui Yunzi coughed twice and said, that would definitely be better. Seniors, I won't say too much. Anything depends on effort. Go ahead. Don't tell me that Futaba's group will complete our plan and you won't be able to do it. Here, take a bottle of these pills each. I'll leave it to you. Guapai smiled and handed over bottles of pills to Shui Yunzi and the others. Ao Feng, stop spacing out. I think you should think of a way to open the seal outside the Dragon Burial Valley. Then we can find some bodies. Any random soul of a dragon would be an expert among experts, said Shui Yunzi jokingly. Shu Yunzi, if you want to open the seal outside the Dragon Burial Valley, then go ahead. I guarantee that after you rescue the Dragon Clan will make you an honored guest. Ao Yuan, Ao Ji, you two follow me. Ao Yu, you follow Shu Yunzi. When the time comes, Shu Yunzi will split half of the good seedlings he finds with you. We're leaving. Shu Yunzi wanted to say something else, but Ao Feng and the other two had already disappeared. Lord Water, little you will be following Lord Water for this year, Ao Yu said with a smile. If you want to follow me, then so be it. Anyway, I'll give all the people I find to that brat. It's not like I can find a successor in the human world anyway. Let's go. After saying that, Shui Yunzi flew away with Ao Yu. Boss, they're all gone. What do you need us to do? Guotong Yuan asked with a smile. Xian Yuan Hao kept nodding. Junior brother Tong Yuan is very familiar with the various sects in Huaxia. The name Daoist Tong Yuan is also very famous in the East Sea. In the next year, contact the other sects and subtly mention the matter of the demon clan to them. Let them know about it. If they can help when the time comes, give them some benefits. If they don't listen, just do what junior brother Tongyuan did in the past, said Guopai with a smile. Gua Tongyuan's face darkened. Xianyuan how couldn't help but laugh. Gua Tongyuan shook his head and said, Boss, that's a matter of the past. I can't use the name Daoist Tongyuan anymore. Otherwise, I won't be able to rope in other sections. When the time comes, I'll be chopped into dumplings and sent to the medical center by those fellows who are in seclusion. Take these things. You can go to Shu Mountain and Wudong first. They are very clear about some things. Ask them to help. Such a big thing is going to happen in the human world. I can't worry about it all. After Guopai finished speaking, he handed a jade bottle to Gua Tongyuan. Just by looking at it, Gua Tongyuan already knew what was inside. He took out a pill and stuffed it into his mouth with a smile. No wonder boss can make so many pills. These things can definitely fool Wu Xiu, who is under the fasting period. But for people above the fasting period, I'm afraid they won't be able to take a fancy to them. Gua Tongyuan said with a smile, Boss, we're leaving. After a year, you can give each of us a 3 revolutions golden pill. This is not too much. After that, Gua Tongyuan and Xianyuan how didn't care whether Guopai agreed or not. The two of them rode their swords and flew in the direction of Shu Mountain. Let's follow this plan first. As for how far we can go, we can only do our best and leave it to fate. Guopai watched everyone leave, leaving only his family members behind. He took a deep breath and said, Bad guy big brother, you've already sent people out. What are you going to do with us? Yu looked at Guopai and asked with a smile. The other girls nodded. If the human world is in chaos, Bugyaku will definitely become the target of public criticism based on the matter of me dealing with the great demon these years. You take Meng Meng and the others to Wuji Palace. I will set up a formation outside Wuji Palace. Except for me, no one can break the formation. 5 years will pass in the blink of an eye. When the time comes, you can come out. Guopai said softly. Bad guy big brother, we are now Wuxiu. Xiao Yezi and I are the weakest, but we are already in the enlightening stage. We don't want to go to Wuji Palace. We want to fight side by side with you. Tang Shi pouted and said, Yes, little Shi is right. If the great demon is really like what you said, you can't win against them. In the end, the human world will be plunged into misery and suffering. What's the point of us staying in Wuji Palace? Lin Shuang stood up and said. The other girls nodded. Haha, as expected of Guopai's women. Good, very good. If the great demon is rampant, I, Guopai, will not be able to stop it. I will protect your innocence and destroy your body and soul. You are my women, so you can only be my people. Guopai said arrogantly. The girls nodded. However, in the next 5 years, I still have to let you all enter Limitless Palace to cultivate. Because I don't have the time to take care of you all have to cultivate well and not let me be distracted. Guopao said loudly. The few girls looked at each other and nodded. After all the girls entered Wuji Palace, only Zhao Jin, Li Yao, and Jia Yuan were left in Bugyaku's backyard. Guopai went to Bugyaku and gave a few instructions. The few of them drove an SUV to the 531 Army. Uncle Kai, I am now rushing to the 531 Army. I hope to meet the people in charge of the other military region. It would be best if you can also come to the 531 Army. I have something important to tell you. Guopai sat in the car and said softly to the phone. Little Bad, I am going to arrange it now. Tomorrow morning, the people from the other 7 military region will be able to reach the 531 Army. I know some of the recent things in the 531 Army. You can rest assured that I will also be there tomorrow morning. Kai Tianyang said softly on the phone. Chapter 662. Guopao once again rushed to 531. According to the previous arrangement, 531's mysterious training ground was under the responsibility of Tyrannosaurus Group's people. Guopao's car arrived, and after greeting Chen Yanzhou, he directly entered the training ground. Bai Geng, you held back just now. If we met a real enemy, you would be dead. A soldier from T-Rex shouted at the soldier selected by 531. Chen Jie, did you not eat today? You will be punished to run 108 laps with 10x gravity. Lu Kuan, you are wrong. You are wrong again. If you are wrong again, I don't mind using my own method to eliminate you. The bad boss does not want mediocre people around him. Good, very good. That's it. Your bodies have reached the peak of the innate stage. As long as you break through your limits again, you will reach the enlightening stage. Then, you will be able to enter the next stage like them. Zilong Chu Yi shouted at the group of people. Just as Chu Yi finished speaking, a few soldiers who had already reached the peak of the Xiantian realm in a square formation of more than 300 people let out a loud roar at the same time. They had broken through the Xiantian realm and entered the enlightening stage. Good, very good. You can go over there and train. This is the vital essence pill. Take it and replenish your vital essence, Chu Yi said with a smile. A few soldiers walked out under the envious gaze of a group of people and walked into another square formation. Boss Chu again. I need 10x pressure. If 10x is not enough, then 20x. I don't believe that I am not worse than Lu Heng and the others. Just as a few people walked out of the square formation, a big man shouted at Chu Yi. Meng Chao was originally a troublemaker in the 531. Ever since he was selected to join the Independent Brigade and saw Guopai, he wanted to be recognized. He worked harder than other soldiers. When others carried 30 kilograms, he carried 50 kilograms. When others ran 100 laps, he ran 200 laps. At first, the results were obvious. He was in the first batch of people to enter the innate stage. However, when he saw that his comrades had broken through the innate stage and entered the enlightening stage, while he was still unable to break through the barrier, Meng Chao became anxious. Meng Chao. Chu Yi frowned as he looked at the man in front of him. Just as he was about to say something, Guopai patted him lightly. Chu Yi nodded, and Guopai called out his name. Boss Guopao, it's not that I'm not working hard, but no matter how hard I try, I can't break through the barrier that's blocking me. I hate it so much. When Meng Chao saw Guopao, he immediately knelt on the ground and burst into tears. Get up. Just follow me for now. You're very special. You'll slowly find out in the future. The others continue with their training. After Guopai finished speaking, a strange force pulled Meng Chao up. Meng Chao nodded and followed behind Guopai. Heaven's jealousy mysterious body. I didn't expect that I would encounter one of the most magical physiques recorded in the heavenly book, the Heaven's jealousy mysterious body. Guopai looked at Meng Chao and couldn't help laughing. Boss Guopai, I can't break through. It's embarrassing. Meng Chao didn't know what to say. After thinking for a long time, he said this sentence. I don't think there's anything embarrassing about it. Guopai said with a smile. I've seen 3 people with your situation, and all of them stopped at the innate realm. I've heard of a total of 10 people. Boss, then I don't have any hope at all. I know that I've done a lot of wrong things in the military camp, but I want to change now. Why can't you give me a chance? Boss, I really want to become a strong person. Tell me what you can do if you become a strong person. Guopai asked with a smile. If I can become a strong person like you, I can. Meng Chao thought for a moment, but didn't say a word. Your situation is called the Heaven's jealousy mysterious body. Do you know what the words Heaven's jealousy mean? Even the heavens are jealous of your fleshly body, which is why they suppressed your strength to the Xiantian realm. Guopai said with a smile. If you can break through the innate realm, then your cultivation in the future will be like a flowing river. When the conditions are right, success will come naturally. Boss, don't lie to me. You just said that you've seen 3 people with this kind of heaven's jealousy mysterious body, and all of them stopped at the innate realm. How can I break through? Forget it, forget it. After today, I'll leave the independent brigade and go back to my original place. Meng Chao shook his head and said, I know 10 people with the heaven's jealousy mysterious body. 9 of them didn't succeed, but 1 succeeded. His name is Wu Gang. Maybe you're unfamiliar with this name, but I want to tell you that he, the great sage, heaven's equal, and Erlang Immortal are known as the 3 great generals of the 3 realms. Guo Pai said with a smile. Meng Chao's eyes widened. Cultivate well. I won't give you any less resources, no matter whether you can break through the innate realm or not. Guo Pai said with a smile. Zhao Jin, this person is your junior brother. Take good care of him. I don't know how much he can improve when he breaks through the innate realm. Big guy, Master has said so. Why don't you do the ceremony of apprenticeship and thank Master? Zhao Jin looked at Meng Chao, who was already in a daze, and kicked his butt. Meng Chao seemed to be reminded by Zhao Jin's kick. He quickly knelt on the ground and kowtowed fiercely. Okay, you've already kowtowed 9 times. Are you done yet? Zhao Jin pulled Meng Chao up. Just like that, he became Guo Pai's second disciple in the world. Not long after Guo Pai left Bugyaku, a big guy more than 2 meters tall, wearing fashionable clothes, walked into Bugyaku. Cough, cough, cough. Are you here to see a doctor or to get medicine? Chen Jiadi gave the 2 newcomers a look. One of them, Wu Yang, who had just graduated, quickly walked to the big guy's side. I'm not here to see a doctor or to get medicine. Where's your master? Is he at home? If he's not, you can ask Yuer to come out, the big guy said loudly. Everyone in the room looked at him. He was more than 2 meters tall, and his fingers were like carrot. He was wearing a pair of cropped pants that clearly did not fit him. His hair was spread out behind his head. But if you looked closely, you would find that this big guy's hair was very special. Every 36 strands of hair formed a braid. At first glance, he looked really fashionable. But if you looked closely, you could only describe this big guy with one word: retard. Where's your master? Where's Yuer? Hurry up and ask them to come out to see me, the big guy said loudly to Wu Yang. Brother, please wait a moment. Since you know our master and Yuer, then you are a friend of Bugyaku. Looking at your body, even if the old Jade Emperor is sick, you won't get sick. Come with me and drink some of our master's good wine. Let's wait for him, Chen Jiadi said with a smile. What? The Supreme still has wine? Hee, then I'll go in and drink some wine and wait for them to come back. The big guy laughed and followed Chen Jiadi to Bugyaku's guest room. Chapter 663. There was no outsider in the reception room. There was only a nice table and several stools. On the table, there was a wine gourd and several delicate wine glasses. Brother, please have a drink. I'm busy outside. Chen Jiadi apologized and walked out of the reception room. The big man was Wu Gang, who had just come to the mortal world from the Moon Palace. His ill-fitting clothes were directly taken from a bodyguard on a cruise ship in the high seas. As for the situation in the human world, Wu Gang just found some drunkards and used some tricks to learn about it. Hey, the human world is not like what my elder sister said. The human tribe is cunning. Don't be careful. Look, I have just arrived, but I directly invite you to drink wine. Hey, is it possible that my aura makes these guys of the human tribe feel inferior? Well, it must be so. Wu Gang touched his face and couldn't help muttering to himself. Brother Chen, that big man is not a good person. Why did you put him in the reception room? Wu Yang asked softly. Keep your voice down. I certainly know that this big man is not a good person. There will be a good show later. Chen Jiadi whispered with a smile. Seeing that the clinic was not busy, he walked into the central control room of Bugyaku with Wu Yang. He turned on the monitor screen and directly saw Wu Gang in the reception room. Haha, Brother Chun, this big man is so narcissistic. He is ashamed of himself. He doesn't even look at his appearance. Wu Yang said with a smile. At this time, Wu Gang had taken off his coat. His muscles, which even made the world bodybuilding champion feel ashamed of himself, were exposed. Chen Jiadi and Wu Yang widened their eyes. This guy is really strong. However, Wu Gang's expression made the two men's faces droop. Wine glasses. How can you drink wine with such small wine glasses? But this set of wine glasses is very delicate. It is useless to put them here. Let me take them away and give them to my elder sister. Wu Gang shamelessly put the wine glasses into his storage bag. Chen Jiadi and Wu Yang did not say anything. They had seen this trick many times from their elder brother Guopai. Naturally, they were not surprised. Mind reading Immortal Monarch's wine. Sigh, it was a great pleasure to be able to drink such fine wine in the heavenly court back then. If this guy had not taken a fancy to you back then, Kong Xian and I would not have been able to drink such fine wine. Wu Gang said in a low voice. He picked up the wine gourd and took a big gulp. The taste was really great. Brother Chen, is it really the wine left by the owner? Wu Yang licked his lips and asked. It's the real deal. The wine that the tavern master gave us was blended. The wine in the gourd was not blended. I've only tasted it once, and I've never tasted it again. Chen Jiadi swallowed his saliva and said, Brother Chen, why did you give it to that big guy? Wu Yang asked confusedly. Give it to him, of course. Our elder brothers are not in Bugyaku. We are no match for this big guy. I put some drugs in the wine. We will see a good show later. Chen Jiadi said with a smirk, Drink it up. You'd better drink it up. After that, I will deal with you. Chen Jiadi looked at Wu Gang drinking the wine and gritted his teeth. He could not help thinking of what Guopai had told him before he left. Emperor Jia, you know a little about my identity. If someone comes to the medical center to cause trouble, remember not to fight them head-on. I have a gourd of good wine in the reception room. I have added something to the wine. As long as he can drink it, everything else will be easy, Guopao said with a smile on his face. Elder brother, if he is really a master like you said, we can't clean up the mess even if we make him drunk. Chen Jiadi asked in a low voice. Tie him up with this rope. This rope is called the Immortal Tying Rope. Although it is not the same as the one used by Lord Latsu, it can trap several masters in the gold core stage in the human world. Guopai gave Chen Jiadi some incantations to use the Immortal Tying Rope, and then he left Bugyaku. Brother Chen, that big guy drank so much. Why didn't he faint? Wu Yang asked in a low voice. Then let me ask you, is it the same to give drugs to an elephant or to a chick? Since the owner said that the wine was drugged, let's wait and see. Chen Jiadi said with a smile. About 10 minutes later, Wu Yang was amazed by how much wine was in the gourd. The big guy drank so much and there was still some left. Chen Jiadi was a little anxious. Why didn't the big guy fall down? When Chen Jiadi was about to lose his patience, Wu Gang stood up slowly. However, when Wu Gang just stood up, an ominous premonition appeared in his mind. When Wu Gang wanted to say something, he directly lay on the ground. Bang! The sound of Wu Gang falling to the ground could be heard by the whole consultation hall of Bugyaku. Emperor Jia, the sound came from the reception room just now. Is there anything wrong? Chao Qiankuan asked directly through the walkie-talkie. It's all right. You do your thing. Just now, Wu Yang and I fired a cannon. It was a little loud. Chen Jiadi said with a smile. Chao Qiankuan didn't say much. He went to do his own thing. Don't be in a daze. Let's go and see that big guy. Chen Jiadi said and ran quickly to the reception room. Wu Yang followed him. Wu Yang, get the big guy up so that I can tie him up. Chen Jiadi said in a low voice. Wu Yang said, okay, and ran to Wu Gang himself. He tried many ways to pull Wu Gang up. However, he was tired and sweaty, but he still didn't get Wu Gang up. "Brother Chen, this guy is too heavy. I can't get him up." Wu Yang panted and said. "Let me do it," Chen Jiadi said. He rolled up his sleeves and began to pull Wu Gang. However, he didn't get Wu Gang up after trying many ways. "Brother Chen, let's ask someone to help us," Wu Yang said in a low voice. "No need. We have a lot of fun things in the reception room. Brother Chen will let you see it today. I don't believe that I can't handle a drunk guy." After saying that, Chen Jiadi walked to the front of a table. After patting the four corners of the table, the entire reception room changed. It was no longer a reception room. It was simply an execution ground. Chen Jiadi hung Wu Gang up with a chain and then tied him up tightly with the bundling rope. After finishing these things, Chen Jiadi and Wu Yang were sweating all over. At this time, Wu Gang slowly opened his eyes. "Damn it! How dare you do this to me? Mind reading Immortal, is this how you treat your guests?" Wu Gang said loudly. At this time, Chen Jiadi and Wu Yang, who had just rested, came to Wu Gang's side. "You are tied up, but you still don't behave." Chen Jiadi found a wooden stick as thick as an egg from a pile of torture instruments and hit Wu Gang. "Brother Chen, don't break this big guy. Although he looks strong, many people nowadays are just like waxhead. They look good, but they are useless." When Chen Jiadi hit Wu Gang with the stick, Wu Gang didn't feel anything. However, Wu Yang's words made Wu Gang's face turn red. Wu Gang, one of the three great generals of the Heavenly Court, has fallen into such a situation today. I will break the rope in front of me first and then let these two little kids play with it. Wu Gang thought and tried hard, but there was no movement at all. "Chen Qingyuan, damn you! You gave the bundling rope to these two little kids and tied me up." Chapter 664. Chen Jiadi and Wu Yang looked at each other. "Chen Qingyuan, who is this big guy scolding? We tied you up. Why are you scolding Chen Qingyuan? Chen Qingyuan is really innocent. This guy is very strong. His muscles are definitely not made by taking medicine. I can't hurt him," Chen Jiadi said and hit Wu Gang's stomach hard again. "Tell me, what do you want to do in our clinic? You came to the right place to make trouble. Bugyaku is not a good place. How dare you come here to make trouble?" Chen Jiadi looked at Wu Gang and asked loudly. "Boy, you dare to scold me again. Do you know who I am?" Wu Gang looked at Chen Jiadi and roared. Chen Jiadi couldn't help but take a step back because of the murderous look in his eyes. "Who do you think you are? I don't care who you are. You are tied up, but you are still so arrogant. Just stay here and wait for the boss to come back," Chen Jiadi said loudly. "Wu Yang, there is nothing wrong in Bugyaku. You keep an eye on him. I will go to the front to help. If there is anything, we can contact each other through the walkie-talkie," Chen Jiadi said and walked out of the reception room. Wu Yang nodded. Although the big guy was very scary, he was tied up. He was not afraid of him. Seeing Chen Jiadi go out and the little guy called Wu Yang in front of him, Wu Gang began to think. This little guy seems to be better than the one just now. I will let him help me untie the fairy-tied rope first, and then I will deal with them slowly. Wu Yang, come here. I have something to tell you. Wu Gang thought for a while and looked at Wu Yang, who was playing with his mobile phone, and said with a smile. "What's the matter? If you want to drink water, I can get some for you. If you want to go to the toilet, I can't help you." Wu Yang looked at Wu Gang and said softly, "Nothing. Let's talk. This time I really want to find someone in the clinic. I am looking for your boss. We are good friends. I am also good friends with your boss's wife," Wu Gang said with an expression that he thought was harmless. "Then what's your name?" Wu Yang asked with a smile. However, he had already begun to plan in his heart. He didn't know who this guy was, but since he had nothing to do, it wouldn't be bad to chat with this big guy. "What's my name? Listen carefully. Don't be afraid and don't be nervous. Since you are Chen Qingyuan's man, you should know something about us. My name is Wu Gang. If you tell me, I will be your ancestor. Wu Gang said proudly. Wu Gang? My ancestor? Heh, you mean you are that Wu Gang who carried a big axe and followed Fairy Chong, on the moon in the sky, who only knew how to chop cassia trees all day long? Wu Yang thought for a while and asked with a smile. You know me, right? Did your owner tell you that? He dares to tell you about Big Sister. He is doomed. If Big Sister knows this, she will skin him alive. Wu Gang said nervously. You is with him. Why don't you control him? If you are Wu Gang, I really have to call you ancestor. I heard from my grandpa that my great-grandpa's 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 great-grandpa ancestors seem to live in a place called Hushi. Are you Wu Gang? Wu Yang said with a smile. Kid, is your ancestor really Wu Gang from Hushi? I don't know how many years have passed in the human world. I didn't expect to see my descendants again in the human world. Wu Gang said with emotion, Kid, find a way to put me down. If you dared to punish me in the past, you would be punished by death by 1,000 cuts. Since it's your first offense and you don't know my identity, I won't pursue it this time. Ancestor, why are you in such a hurry? Let's talk about your story first. There are many rumors about you in the human world. Some people say that you offended the Jade Emperor and punished you to chop cassia trees in the Moon Palace. But the cassia trees will grow back automatically if you chop them halfway. So no matter how hard you try, you can't chop them down, right? Wu Yang asked with a smile. His family tree did have some information about the origin of the Wu family. Their ancestors were indeed from Hushi, and had some relationship with Wu Gang. Wu Yang read a lot of ancient books after he went to school, so he knew a lot about Wu Gang. Of course, it was limited to the records of ancient books in the human world. I was punished by the Jade Emperor? Bulsh *T. If I gave him some guts, would he dare to say no to me? A guy who can only stay in the 5th level of heaven all his life, if not because he has the Emperor's breath, he is nothing. Wu Gang said angrily. It was fine if he didn't come to the human world. He didn't expect that he would be spread like this in the human world. If it's not this legend, then it should be that you offended the sun god Yendi and were sent to the moon to chop trees, right? Wu Yang continued to ask. The sun god Yendi? The guy who broke through the 8th level of heaven in 100,000 years? I offended him, and I can kill him. How dare he call himself the sun god? He doesn't know his strength. Wu Gang said with a trace of disdain. This legend is not right. That is, when you were guarding the gate of the Nantian Gate, you flirted with Chang-Yi on the moon. As a result, the Jade Emperor couldn't stand it and sent you to the Moon Palace to chop cassia trees. Is this the reason? Wu Yang said after thinking for a while. Kid, be careful with your words. When did I stay at the Nantian Gate? How dare I flirt with Big Sister? Don't talk nonsense. Wu Gang wanted to kick his descendant to death, so he couldn't help saying loudly. No, is it because of the legend of the best wine in the world, osmanthus wine? I don't know what osmanthus wine is, but speaking of the best wine in the world, it should be the wine brewed by your tavern master. But when Chen Qingyuan comes, I will teach him a lesson. How dare he drug me? Wu Gang said angrily. If it's not osmanthus wine, is it the legend that you offended the Yellow Emperor? Wu Yang didn't give up and asked. It was not easy to meet such a talkative guy, so Wu Yang couldn't help but ask. The human emperor? He is nothing. I offended him, and he can't wait to curry favor with me. Wu Gang shook his head and said, Then, old ancestor, tell me, what's going on with you? Why are you always chopping down osmanthus trees on the moon? Is it because you will never be able to chop down the biggest osmanthus tree? Wu Yang asked with a smile. It's okay to tell you. It's a kind of cultivation method. Every time I chop down the cassia tree, I will use the restoration technique to restore the cassia tree to its original appearance. Only by doing this can I completely master the divine axe used by Pan Gu Great Emperor. Wu Gang said softly. I know this. It's micro-manipulation. If you can do one thing to the extreme, many things will be easy to do in the future. Wu Yang said thoughtfully. You are worthy of being my descendant. You can understand it as soon as I say it. Wu Gang said with a smile. Ancestor, I recommend you a book called Actor's Self-Cultivation. You should read it carefully. Wu Yang took out a book from his body and stuffed it into Wu Gang's body. If the tavern master comes and lets you go, you should read it carefully. Wu Yang said and left. Chapter 665. The Self-Cultivation of an Actor? What kind of book is this? Is it a martial arts book? Wu Gang said to himself, Boy, put me down first. I will teach you some magic arts, which are definitely much better than the medical skills taught by Chen Qingyuan. Magic. If you know magic, then even pigs can climb trees. When it's time to eat, I'll bring you some food. Don't brag. You're sick. You're sick. You're delusional. Wu Yang said loudly. What's so difficult about a sow climbing a tree? Hallucination? What hallucination? I'm sick. What's wrong with me? Wu Gang was puzzled and wanted to say something, but Wu Yang had already left the room. Haha, it's so funny. Haha, Wu Yang can chat with this big guy for so long. Haha. After returning to the clinic, Chen Jiadi found nothing wrong. He strolled to the monitoring room and saw Wu Yang and Wu Gang chatting, which made him very happy. It's time to eat. After lunch, I have to send some to the big guy. Although he is here to annoy the old woman, we have to be humane. Chen Jiadi said and walked out of the monitoring room. After a sumptuous lunch, Chen Jiadi and Wu Yang told others what Wu Gang said today. A group of people laughed again. Every day, Wu Yang took the time to chat with Wu Gang. Wu Gang told Wu Yang everything. He didn't care about the self-cultivation of an actor. He just chatted with Wu Yang every day, but Wu Yang didn't say anything about letting him go. Brother Chen, after chatting with Wu Gang for a few days, I feel that I can rewrite a journey to the west. No, it should be interesting stories about the heavenly court. Wu Yang said to Chen Jiadi with a smile when eating. As long as you don't talk like him, it's okay. This big guy is really good. He has been tied up by us for 5 days, but he didn't say anything about going to the toilet. Do you think he is really sick and wants to see the boss in the clinic? Chen Jiadi suddenly thought of this. Yeah, if Brother Chen didn't mention it, I would have forgotten about it. Why don't we put him down and take him to the toilet? Wu Yang said in a low voice. Chen Jiadi nodded. After the meal, the two of them walked into the reception room, which was forbidden to outsiders. Brother Wu Gang, I am here again. Wu Yang said loudly before entering the room. Brother, I am your ancestor. You are inferior to me. Wu Gang scolded loudly. Even if he was not angry, he was still angry after being tied up by several guys in the human world for several days. Oh, why are you so angry today? Walking into the room, Chen Jiadi said. Wu Gang was not in Bugyaku. Chen Jiaf. Urinary system? Wu Gang recalled the information he got from several foreign tramps when he first came to the human world and suddenly knew what it meant. You are the one who has urinary system problems. Let me tell you, if you know what is good for you, let me go quickly. Otherwise, Chen Qingyuan can't save you. Who is so angry? He even knows the name of Brother Bad Guy. Is it someone sent by the heavenly court? You did a divination a few days ago. There were only 2 words in the divination, old friend. So she couldn't help but come out from Wuji Palace. Before she arrived in Bugyaku, she heard Wu Gang's shout. Big sister, I haven't seen you for a long time. The boss said you went back to Tiandao sect before he left. When did you come back? When you came to the reception room, Chen Jiati said with a smile before she saw the face of the big guy hanging in the air. Big sister, Brother Chen and I caught a big guy who came to our clinic to make trouble. Hey, he is an interesting guy. Big sister, you can go and have a look. He said he knew you. Wu Yang said with a smile. You knew who was hanging in the air. Suddenly, she had mixed feelings. Wu Gang, why are you here? You said to Wu Gang's shadow with a little excitement. Is you here? Wu Gang also found you at the moment when you appeared in Bugyaku. Then Wu Gang's face turned red. He was so embarrassed this time. Keep. You recited a formula and said keep. Then the bundled immortal rope tied to Wu Gang directly fell into the hands of Yu. Wu Gang, who had been suppressed by the bundled immortal rope for so many days, was finally able to use his immortal power. The big iron chain hanging him was directly shattered into powder by his immortal power. Wu Yang and Chen Jiati were completely dumbfounded. Wu Gang, big sister, do you really know this guy? Wu Yang stammered. Yes, I know him. You can go out first. Yu said to them with a smile. Then they ran out as if they were escaping. Boy, if you dare to tell others about me, you will be like the iron chain just now. Do as you see fit. Wu Gang's voice came into their ears. Chen Jiati and Wu Yang nodded hurriedly. Then Wu Gang let them run out. Ha ha, Wu Gang, ha, where did you get these clothes? And you were hung up by Chen Jiati and Wu Yang. If I don't come out, you will be hung up here all the time. Ha, it's so funny. When I go back, I must tell you. It's so funny. Yu laughed wantonly. She hadn't laughed so happily for a long time. Little Yu, I came to the mortal world to find you out of kindness. How dare you laugh at me? Wu Gang said with a red face. Where is Chen Qingyuan? Ask him to come out. It's not fun today. Well, don't be angry with these little guys. I'll get you some clothes. Your clothes are so funny. Yu looked at Wu Gang and couldn't help laughing again. If you laugh again, I'll really be angry. Go and find me some suitable clothes. Wu Gang said loudly. Yu ran out quickly and asked Chen Jiati to go to the place where they used to make clothes for Dazhu and Kong Fei. She brought a set of fitting clothes for Wu Gang. After putting on the clothes, Wu Gang looked more energetic, but no one could tell that he was one of the 3 generals of the heavenly court. Tian Du Xian Body Wu Gang was a general. He looked more like a bodyguard. Let's have dinner together later. Although it's only been a few years in the human world, I feel that we haven't seen each other for a long time. How are you, sister? Yu said with a smile. You will live here in the future. I don't know when Brother Bad Guy will come back. When he comes back, you can tell him anything. Remember, this is the human world. You are Wu Gang of Tiandao sect. You have nothing to do with the generals of the heavenly court. Wu Gang listened and nodded. Yes, I am in the human world now. Chapter 666. After Wu Gang ascended to the heaven realm, he returned to the human world. It had been tens of thousands of years since he last came back. However, compared with the masters of the human clan and Ao Feng of the dragon clan, Wu Gang seemed to adapt faster. Or rather, it was not that he adapted faster. It was because he had 2 new followers, Chen Jiati and Wu Yang, by his side. Brother Gang, this thing is called a mobile phone. You have been on the mountain for many years, but you haven't seen it. Chen Jiati and Wu Yang accompanied Wu Gang on his left and right. They just drove a pickup truck back from the city. After spending more than 3 million yuan on a pickup truck, they returned to a newly renovated yard of the Gu family, where Wu Gang lived in the human world. A mobile phone is for calling. We don't need it. If we want to contact someone, we can shout directly. Generally, we can shout within 100,000 miles. While speaking, Wu Gangyu played with his phone for a while. Then, he opened something that was still intact. Ahem, why do the masters from the big sects like to open things? Chen Jiadi scratched his head and thought. But then he was called by Wu Gang to tell him something else. This kind of hidden weapon is good, but its power is too weak. If this thing is replaced with the inner elixir of a mysterious beast, it will be a good thing in the human world. Wu Gang took a high-quality imitation of a gun and said with a smile, Master Gang, in fact, if you want to play with a more powerful gun, you can go to the army. Boss knows a lot of people in the army. It's absolutely easy to get some real weapons with you. Wu Yang said with a smile. Then let's go to the army after lunch. I also want to see Guopai. If he doesn't come, can I go to see him? Anyway, you didn't say whether I can go to see him or not. Wu Gang said with a smile. Because Wu Gang came, you didn't go back to Wuji Palace to practice today. Instead, she called all the family members of Guopai out. When they heard that the person who came was Wu Gang, they were very curious about the appearance of this warrior of the heavenly court. When Wu Gang returned to Bugyaku from the Gu family, the meal was ready. A table of women was waiting for Wu Gang to eat. Little mama, is this Uncle Wu Gang? Meng Meng looked at the big man in front of her, who was taller than Li Yao and Dazhu, and asked softly. Yes, this is your Uncle Wu Gang. Yu said with a smile. Uncle Wu Gang, I am calling you. Don't you know how to express your gratitude? After Yu finished speaking, Lin Shuang was a little embarrassed and pulled Yu. After all, the little girl was her own girl. How could she ask for something from a guest? However, Yu pushed Lin Shuang with a smile and said, It's okay. The big man must have something good with him. Sister must have given him something good, but she is not willing to take it out. Before Wu Gang came to the human world, he often followed Chang Yi to check the situation in the human world. He more or less knew that the human world demanded reciprocity. When Chang Yi asked him to go down to the human world, she really gave him a small gourd, which seemed to contain a lot of things. Hey you can't stop me. I have something with me. My niece called me uncle. There must be something good. Wu Gang said with a smile. However, when he put his divine sense into the gourd, he suddenly felt a little embarrassed. There were a bunch of knives, spears, swords, halberds, axes, hooks, and forks. It seemed that sister had refined some weapons recently when she was bored. There were no children's toys. Well, don't hide it. Tell me the things. Let's have a look. Don't tell me that you prepared these things yourself. It must be sister who asked you to bring them. Yu said and grabbed the gourd from Wu Gang's hand. Then she poured out all the things in the gourd at once. With a crashing sound, the whole room was filled with weapons. Yu widened her eyes and looked at the various weapons in the room. There was more or less her sister's aura on them. Yu knew that these things were personally refined by her sister. Although they couldn't be compared to the Heaven Realm's divine weapons, these things were suitable for people in the human world to use. It was a divine weapon that gold core stage experts could display their strongest strength. It seems that sister has already known the things in the human world. It's better not to ask Wu Gang to bring these things. Hey, with these things, the strength of the human tribe will definitely be improved a lot. At that time, we can defeat the great demon, and we great sorcerers will also get some merit. Yu thought with a smile. Ahem, I know that these things are not suitable for you to play with. But wait a moment, I will make something fun for you. Wu Gang took a black stone from his neck regardless of the surprised expressions of others, and then there was an axe of about 30 centimeters in his hand. He had seen countless people carving things with knives, but it was the first time for him to do manual work with an axe. About 7 or 8 minutes later, the black stone in Wu Gang's hand was carved into the appearance of Meng Meng. Her expression was exactly the same as the little girl's, and there was even a trace of Meng Meng's breath on the stone sculpture. Meng Meng, take it quickly and thank your uncle Wu Gang. When the girls were amazed by Wu Gang's carving skills, Yu walked to the stone sculpture with Meng Meng in her arms. Then she quickly made a blood mark on the little girl's finger. A few drops of blood dripped on the stone sculpture, and then the stone sculpture disappeared in front of everyone. Hey brother Gang, I have known you for so many years, but this is the first time that I have seen you being so generous. When brother bad guy comes back, I will ask him to give you as much good wine as you want, Yu said with a smile. After Wu Gang finished carving the small stone, his face turned pale. At this time, the girls found out about it together. But when Wu Gang heard Yu's words, he nodded with a smile and said, Little Yu, this is what you said. Help me get the wine. Ahem, now is the time. Speaking of wine, I think you are energetic again. Take this elixir. Carving the Yuanying stone just now consumed a lot of your mental and physical strength. It is estimated that you will not recover for at least 3 months. Yu said with a smile. Damn, the spiritual qi in the human world is too weak. If it were in the Moon Palace, it would be a piece of cake. Wu Gang took the elixir, stuffed it directly into his mouth, and said softly, Brother Wu, your carving skill is really amazing. We only know that Sister Yu is good at carving, but we didn't expect Brother Wu to be better. I thank Brother Wu again on behalf of my daughter, Lin Shuang said softly and poured a glass of wine for Wu Gang. Hee, there are no outsiders here, so there is no need to be so polite. If you girls like it, Wu Gang can carve something for you. However, Wu Gang came out in a hurry and only had a small piece of nascent soul stone. I do have some other materials, but they are not as good as nascent soul stone. However, they are still useful for cultivation. Wu Gang said with a smile. Yu's carving skill, hey, I taught her little by little. Although it is a little worse than me, she can be regarded as a master. You are so arrogant. Don't waste your mental and physical strength on carving these days. Just stay in the Gu family. Yu stared at them with her beautiful eyes and said, Sisters, these weapons are all made by my eldest sister. Each of you can choose 3 of them. They will be of great help to your cultivation in the future. After Yu's words, Wu Gang was left drinking wine alone at the table. The other girls all went to choose weapons. Chapter 667. During lunch, the girls were busy choosing their own magic weapons, so they didn't eat anything. But Wu Gang's face was oily. It was boring to drink alone. After Yu put away all the weapons on the ground, Wu Gang called Chen Jiadi, Wu Yang, and Zhou Tianyang, who was already familiar with them, to drink together. Wu Yang was the first to be drunk, and then Chen Jiadi. After that, Wu Gang looked at Zhou Tianyang and laughed. Wu Gang, I didn't offend you, but your laughter makes me nervous. Zhou Tianyang said with a smile. Brother Zhou, you must be joking. These 2 guys dared to put drugs in my wine on the first day I came to Bugyaku and tied me up for several days. I wanted to teach them a lesson yesterday, but I thought that I was their elder, so I couldn't do it. Today, I will drink them up openly. Wu Gang said loudly, and Zhou Tianyang hurriedly agreed. Yu had told him that he couldn't offend this guy. Well, is it worth it for Lord Wu Gang to show off after drinking 2 little guys? Yu came out from the inner room and said jokingly, Uncle Zhou, you can ask the guys in front to clean up. I have something to talk with Wu Gang. Wu Gang followed Yu back to the room. Wu Gang, does the Heavenly Court already know about what happened in the human world? Yu asked bluntly. What do they know? The human world is covered by the heavenly mystery. I can't see anything, but my sister must know something. The 3 realms may be in chaos, so she asked me to go down to the mortal world to earn some merit. Wu Gang didn't hide anything. Then you told Wu Gang what happened in the human world in the past 6 years. The more Wu Gang listened, the more surprised he was. When the great demon ran rampant, Wu Gang basically fought with the demon tribe every day. The title of the fiercest warrior in the heavenly court was also won at that time. Wu Gang knew that the strength of the demon tribe should not be underestimated. Since my sister asked you to go down to the mortal world, you should stay there. In 5 years, the human world needs people. As long as you are willing to help, you will get a lot of merits. Yu said with a smile. Hey, after all, if I help the human world to survive this disaster, I can get a lot of benefits. But the biggest winner is your man. Wu Gang said with some playfulness. It's mainly because Bad Brother contributed a lot. The more you work, the more you get, right? Yu said with a smile, and Wu Gang didn't say anything. Wu Gang planned to go to the 531 First Army in the afternoon. Because Chen Jiadi and Wu Yang were drunk by Wu Gang didn't want to bother others, so he went back to his residence to play with the things he bought. At this time, Wu Gang was looking at Victoria's Secret on the computer with his upper body half naked, which made Wu Gang daydream. The human world is really good. Her appearance and figure are good, but she is much worse than you are, not to mention my sister. Just as this thought appeared in Wu Gang's mind, he suddenly felt a pressure from the sky. Wu Gang shuddered, and then this thought disappeared. Sister, I'm just thinking about it. I don't want to see it. I want to play with these little things. Wu Gang muttered, and a small Rubik's Cube appeared in his hand. 1 minute later, the Rubik's Cube had been solved by Wu Gang. If someone saw that a finger as thick as a radish could solve the Rubik's Cube so fast, he would definitely be surprised. Brother Gang, do you really want to drive? Let me drive. There are a lot of people on the road now. When we arrive at the army, you can go to the playground to practice. Otherwise, if you drive without a license and have an accident, it will be troublesome. The next morning, Wu Gang saw that Chen Jiadi and Wu Yang woke up. Fortunately, they knew to take some medicine to detoxify the alcohol. Otherwise, they would not be so energetic after drinking so much yesterday. They drove to the army. Just when the car started, Wu Gang asked to drive himself. Chen Jiadi and Wu Yang were a little overwhelmed. Yes, Master Gang. Our bodies are not as good as yours. If something happens, it will be troublesome. You'd better sit in the car. Wu Yang also said quickly. I want to drive. Master Gang, you don't even know which is the accelerator and which is the brake. How can we let you drive? Chen Jiadi continued. I want to drive. Master Gang. Before Wu Yang spoke, Wu Gang's big hand had been hanging on Wu Yang's body. I want to drive. If you don't let me drive, then let's go and see. Brother Gang, this is the car key. Be careful. This car is boss's. Although it is not expensive, it is almost 5 million yuan. Chen Jiadi handed the car key to Wu Gang carefully and said softly. Get in the car. It's just a car. When I got the 9 Suns Sky car in the heavenly court, it was much more complicated than this. I can play with it easily. Wu Gang shouted. The 2 guys who didn't want to get in the car hurriedly got in the car. Then they fastened their seat belts and looked at each other, as if they were ready to die. Accelerator and brake, it's just the 2 things below. Let's go. Wu Gang looked at Chen Jiadi and started to imitate him directly. Woo woo woo. After several roars of the accelerator, the SUV rushed out fiercely. Chen Jiadi and Wu Yang couldn't help closing their eyes and opening their mouth. About a minute later, the 2 opened their eyes. The car was very stable, but when Chen Jiadi came back to his senses and saw the number on the speedometer, Chen Jiadi's hand grasped the steering wheel even tighter. The speedometer had reached the top. The SUV here had been driven by Wu Gang at 320 kilometers per hour. Wu Gang was driving the cars ahead one by one. Emperor Jia, can you make the car go faster? It's not satisfying. Wu Gang turned to Chen Jiadi and asked, Master Gang, drive. Don't talk when driving. Chen Jiadi stammered because he and Wu Yang had smelled a trace of burnt tires. Wu Gang was not in a good mood. However, the road from the capital to 531 was in chaos. Brother Chen, please help me check this car. I've sent you the license plate number. This car is 2F** King Awesome. It didn't slow down all the way at 300 kilometers per hour. Mengzi and I couldn't even see the headlight. A young man with earrings was driving a modified Bugatti Veyron. The speed had just decreased from 270 kilometers per hour. He was talking on the phone. Old 7, don't offend that car. It belongs to the bad master of Bugyaku. About a minute later, the man on the other side of the phone called Brother Chen whispered, Seventh brother, are you looking for trouble? I am looking for trouble. But we didn't even see the taillights. I guess someone will call you later to ask about that car. Old 7 hung up the phone. Don't offend the SUV of the masters of Differing. We can't afford to offend them. About 10 minutes later, the cars on the road all moved aside. Wu Gang's car was driving at the fastest speed. Wu Gang felt bored. Fortunately, they arrived at the gate of 531 Army safely. Chapter 668. The 531 Battalion had become a forbidden area in Huaxia. Originally, the 531 Battalion was just a military region in Huaxia. However, in the past 3 days, more than 80,000 soldiers came from other 7 military regions in Huaxia. No one knew why these people came to the 531 Battalion. However, since the last military vehicle entered the 531 Battalion, the entire 531 Battalion was sealed off. Password. When Wu Gang and the other two just got off the car, they heard a loud voice through a loudspeaker. Password? What password? Wu Gang was stunned. He looked at Chen Jiadi and Wu Yang and asked, There are several guns over there. What does that mean? Master Gang, get into the car. We need to communicate with the people in the 531 Battalion first. It was not so troublesome last time. Wu Yang estimated in a low voice. Brothers, we are from Bugyaku. We are here to find our master. Please open the door for us. Chen Jiadi raised his hands and said loudly to the inside. Password. It was still the same 2 words. Chen Jiadi found that it was impossible, so he also got into the car. Brother Gang, the guards at the gate are changed. I will call Bad Guy to see if he is inside. Chen Jiadi said with a red face. He was a little embarrassed. After all, he bragged so much at the beginning. Now he couldn't even enter the gate. Don't call him. You two just sit down and let's go in. Wu Gang grinned and stepped on the accelerator. The SUV rushed towards the gate. Before Chen Jiadi and Wu Yang realized what was going on, the SUV had rushed in. Then several bullets hit the SUV. Fortunately, the whole SUV was bulletproof, otherwise it would have been an accident. Someone broke into the 531 Battalion and rushed towards the forbidden area. Ask for support. The guard at the gate said loudly to the walkie-talkie. Then the whole 531 Battalion was boiling. There is really someone who doesn't know what's going on. Take the weapons. No matter who is in the car, stop the car first. A big guy shouted to a few company commanders. Then, the brigade commander of the Wild Seed Brigade closest to the training room sent out 4 companies of soldiers at once. Wu Yang, hurry up and contact boss. I'll contact Big Sister Yu. We're in big trouble now. Chen Jiadi said softly. Wu Gang already knew where Guopai might be when he entered 531. If Guopai was in 531, he must be in the south where the array was set up. But the array was really bad. Wu Gang just roared and the array outside the mysterious training camp was broken. Guopai, who was training soldiers inside, didn't know who came, but the person who could easily break his array was not weak. He hurriedly ran out. It's over. Rocket launchers. We're finished. The car made a turn at 531 Battalion for a while. As soon as the car stopped, Wu Gang and others walked out of the car again. Seeing a row of rocket launchers aimed at them, Wu Gang smiled foolishly because he sensed a breath of gold core stage. It should be Guopai who came to find him. But his smile suddenly disappeared, because the last line of defense outside the training camp was firing at them. Damn it, they've started. Wu Gang roared and looked at the rocket launchers flying towards him. He was sure that he could take them, but if there was a miss, the two little guys would be finished. Thinking of this, Wu Gang jumped up and reached out to block all 18 rocket launchers with his hand. Chen Qingyuan, are you still watching the fun? Ask your people to stop, or I won't be polite. Wu Gang rubbed his hands and said loudly. Although the rocket launchers did not hurt him, his hands were still a little numb. After all, the gold core stage was not as powerful as the 11th heaven. Stop, all of you. We're on the same side. Guopai suddenly appeared in front of the group of artillerymen and said loudly to a group of soldiers. Then his eyes fell on Wu Gang. Hey, Immortal, don't you recognize me? Wu Gang naturally knew what Guopai's expression meant. He was not Yu who could sense his breath. Who are you? Since you came to find Guopai, you should be Guopai's friend. Guopai said with a smile. But the guy in front of him did not reveal any breath, so Guopai really did not recognize him. Boss, his name is Wu Gang. Sister Yu said that he was also a member of Tiandao sect. Seeing Wu Gang playing riddles with Guopai, Wu Gang could not help but say loudly to Guopai. Wu Gang? You are Wu Gang? Which Wu Gang in the Heavenly Court's Moon Palace? It's impossible. How could the Heavenly Court let a general come down? Guopai said with his eyes wide open. Then he flew to Wu Gang and said with a look of disbelief. Should we find a quiet place to talk? Wu Gang looked at Guopai and said with a smile. Well, let's find a quiet place. Haha, rare guest, you are a rare guest. Wait a minute. You have made such a big noise, I have to help you clean up your ass first. Guopai said, and took out the satellite phone in his hand. Commander Chen, this is Guopai. The person who broke into the 531 Battalion just now was a coach I found. He may have caused some trouble for the brothers in the 531 Battalion. Please tell the people below that everything is fine. Guopai said with a smile. This coach is very brave. He even dared to break into the 531 Battalion. It's good that everything is fine. Chen Yanzhou hung up the phone. After hearing the report from his correspondent, Chen Yanzhou could no longer look at Guopai and Tiandao sect as ordinary people. The big guy just now was more than 2 meters tall. He blocked 18 bombs with his body. Do you think such a person is still a human? Several people who fired the bombs whispered to a group of soldiers who arrived later. Ma Jingshan, forget it. You didn't stop him, so just say it. Are you afraid of losing face? Several veterans joked. Believe it or not. If you don't believe it, you can check the surveillance video. The group of soldiers inside will suffer a lot this time. Ma Jingshan did not explain much. Although they were not qualified to enter the training ground, they could more or less see the training content of the people inside, so they knew that such people existed. Seeing a group of soldiers carrying bombs leave, the veterans received a call from their superiors. They did not need to deal with the matter of breaking into the barracks just now, so they immediately withdrew to their own places. Hey, brother Wu Gang, I don't know what you came to the mortal world for this time. Guopai rubbed his hands and said, You came to the mortal world from afar. You didn't come empty-handed, did you? After inviting Wu Gang into the room, Guopai said with a smile, Ahem, come empty-handed? It turns out that you didn't come empty-handed, but all the things you brought were taken away by your wife. If you want anything, you can ask Yu for it. Wu Gang said loudly, Look at you. Little Yu has also changed. She used to be a good girl, but now she has been led astray by you. She is like a commoner now. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.